Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. I became stronger with Krypton gold, and I chose to be an alchemist. Chapter 1. Daxia, Wuyong City, Dixing Middle School. In the classroom of the second class of the third grade, Teacher Wong of the alchemy class stood on the podium with an angry expression on his face, shaking the stack of test papers on his hands, heartbroken. I've never seen such a bad result. This time, less than 10 people in the whole class passed the alchemy exam. Only 2 or 3 excellent marks. What are you guys testing for? Kebabs. The classroom was silent and the atmosphere was gloomy. The students all buried their heads, not daring to breathe. There are only a few students who are very confident in their grades and not very nervous. Chen Fan is one of them. Teacher Wong glanced at the indifferent Chen Fan. His expression looked much better. Although your grades are so poor that I am ashamed to see others, fortunately, Chen Fan performed steadily and still got full marks, so that I will not lose my head in front of my colleagues. The students suddenly exclaimed, and all turned their heads to look at Chen Fan. The eyes of many female students were like sugar threads, glued to Chen Fan's ridiculously handsome face, fascinated. But the expressions on everyone's faces were not very surprising. As Teacher Wong said, for Chen Fan, full marks are just a matter of stable performance, and there is nothing unusual about it. Chen Fan is a well-known god of learning in the whole school. Every time he takes an exam, he ranks first in cultural courses. Especially the alchemy course, which ranks first in the whole year all the year round, with full marks every time. Thinking of this, the students all looked at Chen Fan with inhuman eyes. Alchemy is notoriously difficult. The knowledge system is extremely complex, and the knowledge points involved are simply massive, and it is simply not something ordinary people can learn. Only Chen Fan, a pervert, can memorize all those things as if playing games. The tablemate and buddy Zhang Lin gave Chen Fan a thumbs up. You're still so awesome, brother Fan. Chen Fan smiled modestly. It's too much. After berating and beating the whole class, Teacher Wong announced loudly, I will take the exam again next week. If you fail the exam again, give me the vacation time to make up lessons. There was a burst of mourning in the classroom. No, Mr. Wong, please let me go. Old Wong, you can't do this. It's too cruel. It's too ruthless. Teacher Wong pretended not to hear, left a word, turned around and left the classroom. Hurry up and figure out what you don't know. If you don't know it, you can ask me, or you can ask the students in the church. Watching Teacher Wong out of the classroom with sad and angry eyes, the students in the class look at me and I look at you. Next moment, with a bang, a group of students, like wild horses out of the cage, scrambled towards Chen Fan holding the test papers. All gods save me. Brother Fan, please advise. Whether I can pass depends on you, Brother Fan. In order to compete for the best position next to Chen Fan, a group of students pushed each other and almost fighted. Let's go, let's go. Let the old lady come first. You old man, you are too embarrassed to rob such a delicate little girl like me. Go away. Little big brother, can you let me go first? In the end, the positions next to Chen Fan were all occupied by a group of beautiful female classmates, and these girls surrounded Chen Fan tightly. Even Zhang Lin, who was at the table, was kicked aside. The male students who came to ask Chen Fan for advice stood outside the crowd, looking at each other helplessly. Forget it, good men don't fight women, it's the same when we go to ask Lao Wang for advice. Isn't it that old Wang likes to scold and teach at the same time? It's no big deal. Gentlemen, it's nothing to be scolded. Beside Chen Fan, the female students who had been arrogant and domineering just now became gentle and graceful. The girls asked questions one after another in an orderly manner, and the situation of bombarding Chen Fan with a bunch of questions did not appear. Fan big brother, I haven't figured out this question. Why should the amber grass be stored in ice? Chen Fan gave the answer almost without thinking. Amber's medicinal properties are active, and its medicinal properties will be quickly lost at room temperature. Ice can retain its medicinal properties to the greatest extent. Brother Chen, why can the calcined bone grass, which is the main material for refining the calcined bone pill, be replaced with white dragon fruit? The medicinal properties of these two medicinal materials are completely different. The medicinal properties of calcined bone grass act on the bone marrow, and the medicinal properties of white dragon fruit act on the blood, and indirectly act on the bone marrow through the circulation of the blood. It can just use the blood-thinning effect to alleviate the shortcoming of its too fierce medicinal properties. So that's how it is. This idea is so ingenious. Old Wong hasn't even mentioned it before. How did you come up with it? It's amazing. A group of girls looked at Chen Fan adoringly. Stared at by so many burning eyes, Chen Fan scratched his head uncomfortably. Good luck, I thought of it by chance. A female student with a pretty figure bent down and put her test paper in front of Chen Fan with a happy face. It's my turn, it's my turn. Chen Fan felt the soft touch on his shoulder, and subconsciously turned his head to look at her. Seeing her pretty face blushing but pretending to be calm, the corners of Chen Fan's mouth twitched involuntarily. This female classmate, you are not taking advantage of me, are you? Forget it, I'm not at a loss anyway. Chen Fan blinked, enjoying in silence while explaining to her. Listening to Chen Fan's methodical and simple explanation, the eyes of a group of girls were full of admiration. Brother Chen is really amazing. He is simply a genius. Yes. The question that I can't even figure out, even the big brother can explain it clearly in 2 or 3 sentences. One big brother is so smart and so handsome. Hey sister, the drool came out, wipe it off quickly. A group of girls burst into laughter all of a sudden. Chen Fan just smiled and resolutely kept silent, turning himself into a mute. Facing this group of girls who might turn into tigers and wolves at any time, he didn't dare to speak indiscriminately. Suddenly, a haughty and disdainful voice interrupted the praise of the girls. HMPH, that's really stupid. What's the use of being good at the culture class? Could it be possible to get into the 3 famous schools just by relying on the culture class? When a famous school admits students, the martial arts class is the decisive factor. In this day and age, only fists are the last word. Everyone looked at the speaker in unison. A few girls frowned, unconvinced, speaking for Chen Fan. Xiao Chen, you think it's great for you to break through to become a martial artist, you're so frightened every day. That's right, there are many warriors in the school who have broken through to warriors, what are you? You are so good, why do you fail the culture class again and again? Do you think the college entrance examination doesn't look at the culture class results? Zhong Lin also looked at Xiao Chen with disdain. Did you rely on pills to break through to warriors? Who do you think doesn't know? You dare to laugh at Brother Fan's achievements in alchemy. I don't know where you are from. A group of girls immediately echoed. That's right, this man is really thick-skinned. After smashing the elixir and making a breakthrough, then turning around and laughing at other people for their good grades in alchemy, is this demonstrating what it means to cross a river and tear down a bridge? Xiao Chen's expression was ugly. Facing a group of girls, he didn't like to get angry. He glared at Zhong Lin angrily, snorted, turned and walked out of the classroom. A group of short-sighted people, you will know if I'm right when you take the college entrance examination. Chen Fan frowned slightly and fell silent. Although Xiao Chen was beaten away by everyone, Chen Fan knew in his heart that what he said was actually the truth. This world is different from my previous world. In this world invaded by thousands of races, the civilization of the human race has been tenaciously guarded by generation after generation of martial arts experts. As a result, martial arts experts occupy the high-level positions of human civilization, enjoying unparalleled glory and various preferential treatment far beyond ordinary people. Knowledge is power. No, in this world where thousands of races and monsters are rampant, martial arts is the most fundamental power. To become a martial arts expert can be regarded as a truly bright future. Thinking of this, Chen Fan sighed silently. The aptitude of this body of mine is too poor. It has been 16 years since I came to this world, and after years of diligent training, I am still only the lowest level warrior. In Dixing Middle School, most of the talented students have already broken through to become martial artists, and several top students are even martial artists. On the bloody battlefield against 10,000 races of monsters, warriors are just cannon fodder, and warriors are just the main force, and grandmasters and great masters are the elite forces. Above the Grand Master, there are town generals and marquises, whose strength can serve as the commander-in-chief of an army. Promoted to a king-level powerhouse, it is enough to guard one side. And even at the king level, it is still far from the end of martial arts. There are many strong people in this world, but I don't even have the qualifications to be cannon fodder. Realizing this again, Chen Fan closed his eyes melancholy. Right here, a mechanical and ethereal voice sounded in my mind. Ding! The system is activated. Chen Fan was startled, and opened his eyes suddenly. System. After 16 years, the system is finally here. Although the system arrived late, the time-traveling seniors in the book really didn't lie to me. Chen Fan suppressed the excitement in his heart, and asked in his heart. System, what function do you have? The voice in my head sounded again. This system is a Krypton gold strengthening system, as long as Krypton gold can become stronger. According to the actual situation of the host, the system has activated Krypton gold to upgrade the martial skill template. As long as Krypton gold is used, the level of martial skills can be improved. Chen Fan's heart moved, and a property panel appeared in front of him. Host, Chen Fan. Boundary, early martial artist. Battle power, 1000. Martial arts, Kaishin Fist beginner, 2000 yuan is required to upgrade to the next level. Note, the levels of martial arts are entry, proficiency, minor success, great success, reaching the pinnacle, returning to basics, and so on. Looking at the prompt in the property panel, Chen Fan is overjoyed. Only 2000 Krypton gold is needed to raise the level of Kaishenquan from entry to proficiency. It's so easy too. Improving the realm of martial arts depends entirely on the mastery of various martial arts. As long as Krypton gold can improve the level of martial arts, this means that one's own martial arts realm will increase rapidly. The system lives up to its name. Krypton gold can quickly become stronger. Chen Fan was studying the functions of the system happily, when a clear and magnetic voice rang in his ears. Chen Fan, don't pay attention to Xiao Chen's words. A girl with clear eyebrows and cool temperament walked towards Chen Fan. Her black and clear hair is draped behind her like a waterfall, her legs are round and slender, her waist is slender, her body is curvy and undulating, and her figure is graceful and agile. The girl walked over unhurriedly, with an awe-inspiring aura of her own. Seeing the girl approaching, the girls around Chen Fan subconsciously made room for her. The boys in the classroom watched the girl walk up to Chen Fan with envious and jealous eyes. Tisk tisk tisk, it seems that Liang Yu can't resist Fan Ji's charm. Liang Shalwa's grades in cultural subjects are not much worse than Brother Fan's, and her martial arts class is even better. Such a genius, if he doesn't like Brother Fan, why would he like us? Liang Yu sat in front of Chen Fan, her beautiful eyes fixed on Chen Fan's face, and she spoke to comfort him. Chen Fan, don't be disturbed by other people's nonsense. Although this world respects martial arts experts also need a variety of resources, otherwise they will be a tree without roots, water without a source, and cannot last long. With your ability in alchemy, even if you are only an alchemist, you will definitely become an existence that everyone admires. Martial arts experts also need to rely on you. Liang Yu stared at Chen Fan seriously. Believe me, martial arts is not everything. Chen Fan looked at the beautiful girl in front of him and smiled calmly. Thank you for your encouragement. I'm fine. I don't care about Xiao Chen's words now. He did care a little about Xiao Chen's words earlier. But now, Chen Fan, who has a system in his body, has more confidence than anyone else, and Xiao Chen's words can no longer affect him in any way. With the system in hand, becoming a powerhouse above the king level is just around the corner. Now, his confidence in the future is stronger than ever. Xiao Chen's few words can't even lift a speck of dust in his state of mind. Liang Yu observed the expression on Chen Fan's face, and found that the indifference and confidence on his face were not fake. She nodded with satisfaction. It seems that I have good eyesight. Chen Fan was a little confused. What do you mean? Liang Yu looked at Chen Fan's puzzled expression, raised her chin, raised the corners of her mouth, and smiled wantonly. If the man I like is distracted by someone else's words, wouldn't it appear that my vision is too bad? Suddenly there was a strange shout and hiss in the classroom. Wow, our school girl Liang actually has the time to take the initiative to confess her love to boys. Woo. Fan Shen, give me some feedback. Liang Shalwa is confessing to you. I'm so envious of Brother Fan. If Liang Shalwa confesses to me, I can wake up laughing from my dreams. Hey, you're quite brave to think about it. Hearing Liang Yu's words, Chen Fan was stunned. Liang Shalwa, you are too sudden, I am not prepared for it. Seeing that Chen Fan was silent, the students in the class became anxious. Brother Fan, why are you in a daze? Hurry up and agree. Stand up, Fanshan. What are you thinking? Brother Fan, don't embarrass us male compatriots. At a time like this, you can't back down. Seeing that his best friend has become a goose at a critical moment, Zhonglin is more anxious than anyone else. Brother Fan, give me some reaction. Seeing that Chen Fan was still not moving, Zhonglin directly gave him advice. Brother Fan, if you kiss me directly, Liang Shalwa will be yours. Go up bravely. Hearing the crowd's urging, Chen Fan's brain froze, and he suddenly said, Liang Yu, can you lend me 200,000 yuan? He suddenly remembered just now that he was bound to the Krypton gold system, and there is no way to Krypton gold without money. The school bell in front of her is the famous Bai Fumei, 200,000 is just pocket money for her. He was thinking about whether to ask someone to borrow some money just now, and suddenly found that Liang Yu was a good choice, so he just said it. However, Chen Fan came back to his senses after the words were spoken. Hold the grass, what am I doing? Am I out of my mind? Sure enough, as soon as these words were uttered, there was a deadly silence in the classroom. Everyone stared at Chen Fan in disbelief. After a while, someone murmured. Someone confessed that you borrowed money. What kind of coquettish operation is this? Bah, scumbag. Niu Pai. Are the brain circuits of geniuses so different from ordinary people? Ha ha ha, what kind of scene is this? Someone thought of something and whispered. Fan Shen didn't want to reject Liang Yu, so he deliberately borrowed money to change the subject. Hey, it makes sense. This trick is good, I learned it, I will write it down in a small notebook. Liang Yu was taken aback when she heard Chen Fan's words, and also thought that he was using the method of borrowing money to decline her. Colonel Liang didn't play with those twists and turns, and asked directly. Are you looking down on me? Chen Fan quickly and subconsciously denied. No. Liang Dashaohua is a genius with top grades, or Bai Fumei from a wealthy family. If you don't even look up to her, then your vision is too high. Liang Yu raised her eyebrows, then said with a smile. Then are you implying that I will support you in the future? Everyone suddenly burst into laughter. Every god, you can do it. You can eat soft food hard. The new posture of eating soft rice, I have learned it. Chen Fan was so embarrassed that he almost dug out 3 rooms and 1 living room with his toes. But it is impossible to take back what is said in public, so I can only bite the bullet and continue. He said with some difficulty. It's not hinting, it's just a simple loan. Don't worry, I will pay it back soon. Liang Yu didn't say anything more. With a smile on her lips, she took out her mobile phone and operated a few times, and soon Chen Fan received a message that 200,000 yuan had been credited to the account. Then, she winked at Chen Fan charmingly, stood up and walked to her seat. It doesn't matter if you don't pay it back, I like it better if you pay it with meat. Looking at the back of Liang Yu leaving, Chen Fan was dumbfounded. Is Colonel Liang so flamboyant? Boom. Hearing Liang Yu's words, the classroom suddenly exploded. Hold the grass. I heard it right. What kind of tiger wolf words are these? Brother Fan, I wouldn't even dare to do this in my dreams, I'm envious and jealous. As expected of the school belle, she is domineering enough. The classroom was noisy and extremely lively. Chen Fan was frowning and thinking about one thing. Liang Yu just confessed to me, right? So do I agree or not? He thought about it for a long time, but he didn't understand it. He felt that this matter was much more complicated than alchemy. In the corner, Xiao Chen, who didn't know when he returned to the classroom, looked at Liang Yu with a complicated expression. Afterwards, he turned his head to stare at Chen Fan again, clenched his teeth, gradually clenched his fists, and there was a flash of murderous intent in his eyes. Blah blah. With the crisp sound of high heels landing, the classroom quickly fell silent. Shish, the head teacher is here. Everyone hurried back to their seats. The sound of high-heeled shoes approached unhurriedly, and a tall, beautiful woman with curves like mountains and hills appeared at the door of the classroom. The beauty was wearing a dignified teacher's uniform, her slightly curly long hair looked extra thick, and a pair of black-rimmed glasses hung on the bridge of her nose, showing a mature and intellectual beauty. But the straight long legs in black silk, coupled with her cold and serious temperament, has a different kind of charm. Su Xingyu glanced at the quiet classroom, walked up to the podium, said a few notices that had just been issued by the school, and then told her students earnestly. The final exam is only 10 days away, everyone must work harder and don't slack off. Whether it's culture class or martial arts class, it's sailing against the current. If you don't advance, you will retreat. If you don't understand anything, you should ask your teacher or classmates for advice, help each other, and make progress together. Su Xingyu looked at Chen Fan. Culture class, we have Chen Fan, the god of learning who has a perfect score in every class. Don't waste such a good resource. Everyone suddenly burst into laughter. Understood, Miss Su. Su Xingyu likes students to call her sister. It sounds young, of course she is not very old. Su Xingyu looked at Xiao Chen again. As for the martial arts class, you can ask Xiao Chen for more advice. He has just broken through as a martial artist, and he can share with you his insights and experience in breaking through the realm. Xiao Chen held his head high, with a reserved smile on his face. Students, if you don't understand anything, just ask me, I will know everything. There were a few sparse echoes in the classroom. Then thank you Brother Chen first. Brother Chen is righteous. Su Xingyu nodded in satisfaction. Soon it was time for school to leave in the afternoon, and it was also the time for weekends. As soon as the bell rang for the end of get out of class, countless students rushed out of each classroom and rushed to the school gate like a tide. The buddy Zhang Lin stood up abruptly and greeted Chen Fan impatiently. Brother Fan, let's go home. Zhang Lin's family is very close to Chen Fan's, and the two have always gone to and from school together, which is why they became buddies. Before Chen Fan could speak, another voice with a clear and magnetic voice sounded. Chen Fan, let's go home together. Liang Yu walked over with a smile, followed by several girls, who also spoke at this time. That's right, Brother Fan, I'm on the same road as you on the way home, and by the way, I'll ask you a few questions about alchemy. Let's go together, Brother Fan, I also have a question to ask you for advice. Chen Fan, okay. On the way, Chen Fan and Liang Yu walked side by side, and several girls surrounded Chen Fan, asking him questions. Chen Fan can give precise answers to the problems that plague these girls almost without thinking. Chen Fan's easy to handle, easy to lift, aroused the girls' admiration. Liang Yu, who was suspected as Chen Fan's girlfriend, looked at Chen Fan with a pretty face and talked eloquently, praising the girls that Chen Fan didn't mean to be jealous at all, and the atmosphere was very good. If you ignored Zhang Lin, who was squeezed aside with a sad face. Xiao Chen followed behind the crowd not too far away, keeping a distance of several meters. Liang Yu's confession to Chen Fan made him feel unwilling, and his heart was filled with various complex emotions such as grief, jealousy, and resentment. Seeing Liang Yu ask Chen Fan to go home together, he couldn't tell what the reason was, and silently followed behind. He comforted himself. Anyway, I can go home this way, it just happens to be the same way. Listening to Chen Fan chatting and laughing with a group of girls, Liang Yu was not only not jealous, but also admired it. Xiao Chen became more and more annoyed. Finally, he couldn't bear it anymore, and shouted angrily and disdainfully. No matter how good alchemy is, what's the use of it? The lowest ranked warriors don't even want to be cannon fodder on the battlefield. They're just useless. You still take him as a treasure, thinking how powerful he is. How stupid. A group of girls were startled, they all turned around and looked over. People came and went on the road, but they really didn't notice that Xiao Chen followed them all the time. When the girls faced Xiao Chen, their tempers were not very good. What are you doing quietly behind us? Why are you so perverted? That's right, aren't you trying to plot something wrong? I warn you, don't be stupid. Hey, you're too obscene to eavesdrop on other people's conversations. Xiao Chen's face turned blue and white. He knew that bickering was no match for this group of girls, so he simply ignored it and just stared at Liang Yu steadfastly. Liang Yu, don't be fooled by Chen Fan's cultural grades. Think about the glory and brilliance of those martial arts experts. In this world, martial arts strength is everything. No matter how well you learn culture, you can only be an ordinary person. Chen Fan has been cultivating for so many years, but he is still just a low-level martial artist, a useless trash with no future at all. If you look at this kind of person, you are destroying your own future. Liang Yu's face turned cold. She stared at Xiao Chen with icy eyes. You, a waste who can break through to warriors by taking pills, do you have the face to laugh at Chen Fan? Xiao Chen froze for a moment, as if someone had stabbed him in the heart. His face suddenly turned pale. Liang Yu looked at the miserable Xiao Chen, but she didn't soften her heart, and her words were like a knife. In the future, Chen Fan will become a great alchemist. In order to ask him to make medicine, countless martial arts masters will offer you rare treasures and are willing to encourage him. But you don't even have the qualifications to come in and ask for it. Xiao Chen's figure swayed slightly, his face was pale and blue, his lips were trembling, and he seemed to want to say something, but he couldn't say it. The corner of Chen Fan's mouth twitched. Colonel Liang's beauty. Mouth Pao's fighting power is really strong, and I can't easily offend her in the future. Zhang Lin was overjoyed when he heard this, and stepped forward to point at Xiao Chen, wanting to scold him. Chen Fan reached out to stop him, and said to Liang Yu. Forget it, don't talk to him, the more you talk to this kind of person, the more excited he will be. Chen Fan is too lazy to engage in this unnecessary emotional battle, he just wants to go home quickly and upgrade himself with Krypton gold. No matter how much you say, no matter how hard you scold, it is better to slap your face with facts. When his realm is easily surpassed, or even directly crushed Xiao Chen, the expression on his face will be very exciting. Seeing Chen Fan's dissuasion, Liang Yu stopped talking. She gave Xiao Chen a warning look, then turned her head and smiled at Chen Fan. We go home. On the way, Chen Fan separated from Liang Yu and a group of girls, after all they don't live in the same place. Chen Fan's home is in an ordinary community on the 3rd ring road of Wuyang City, and his best friend Zhang Lin lives in another community nearby. I'm leaving, Brother Fan, remember to call me when you go to school on Monday. I'm afraid I'll forget the time. Okay, let's go back quickly. After seeing off Zhang Lin, Chen Fan returned to his home. Mother Li Qingmei is cooking in the kitchen. My son is back, take a rest first, the meal will be ready soon. Don't worry Mom, I'm not hungry yet. Chen Fan had just changed his shoes when a delicate figure rushed towards him like a gust of wind. Chen Guogo jumped onto Chen Fan's back, wrapped his legs around his waist, hung on his body like a monkey, and held a handful of half-picked green onions in his hand. Brother, I haven't seen you for a week, do you miss me? Chen Fan pulled out the green onion that was about to hit his face in disgust. Think about it, get up and go. Chen Guogo pursed her cherry-red mouth with an aggrieved face. Ah, brother, you actually despise me. I'm so sad, woo-oh my heart. Chen Fan looked at this showman with a helpless expression. Li Qingmei came out from the kitchen and relieved him. Guogo, get off your brother quickly. What does he look like for such a big man? Chen Guogo giggled, grabbed Chen Fan by the collar and jumped down, almost strangling him. Chen Fan breathed a sigh of relief, and went into the kitchen to help, but was kicked out by Li Qingmei. It's enough to have Guogo. If you come again, it will be difficult for the 3 of us to turn around. Chen Fan had no choice but to back out, sat on the sofa for a while, bored, turned on the TV and watched it. When the meal was almost finished, his father Chen Dexing also came back. Seeing Chen Fan, Chen Dexing showed a loyal smile and looked at him with concern. I'm back. Chen Fan nodded. Yeah, Dad, your work is going well. Chen Dexing smiled. Smooth. He patted Chen Fan on the shoulder, but didn't say anything else. The father-son relationship was all in silence. Today, when her son and daughter came home from vacation, Li Qingmei happily cooked a large table of dishes. Chen Guogo devoured so much that her little face was almost buried in the bowl. Seeing her daughter eating so deliciously, Li Qingmei was very happy. Eat slowly, don't swallow, no one will grab you. Chen Guogo raised her head sneakily, her little face was full of happiness. Mom, the dishes you cook are so delicious. What did I eat in school? It's like pig food. Li Qingmei was both funny and heartbroken. Then you should eat more. Chen Guogo nodded vigorously. Must. Li Qingmei looked at Chen Fan again. Son, eat more, do you have a bad appetite? Chen Fan. Am I eating now? Mom, you have to count according to the way my sister eats, so no one can be called appetizing. Li Qingmei said worriedly. Son, just do your best in your studies and don't put too much pressure on yourself. Chen Fan, I don't have much pressure, really. He wisely imitated his sister and began to eat vegetables. Li Qingmei closed her mouth in satisfaction. After dinner, the family sat on the sofa and watched TV. Chen Guogo beamed and recounted the interesting stories in the school, which made Li Qingmei and Chen Dexing laugh out loud. Chen Fan felt warm when he saw the happy family. He suddenly felt that his desire to become powerful had never been so strong. Only by becoming stronger can we protect this warmth and give our family a better life. Chen Fan took a deep breath and stood up. I'm going back to my room. Parents, go to bed early. Sister, go to bed early, don't play too late. Back in his room, Chen Fan opened the system panel and started to Krypton Gold. System, Krypton Gold 2000 yuan, upgrade the Kaishengquan to the next level. In the next second, the system's notification sounded. Krypton Gold is successful, 2000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Kaishengquan will be raised to proficient. Ding! The mobile phone received a text message prompting consumption of 2000 yuan. Then, a strange memory flooded into my mind. Chen Fan closed his eyes and felt it for a while. This memory is all his perception and experience of Kaishengquan. Immediately afterwards, an invisible force came from the void and poured into Chen Fan's body. Chen Fan was refreshed, and felt a warm current pouring into his body, washing back and forth like a tide. Under the back and forth washing of this tide, the meridians, bones, and flesh and blood of the body are strengthened little by little. A part of the warm current circulates in the meridians of the body, and every time it circulates for a week, a stream of warm current is transformed into condensed true energy, which flows into the dantian and strengthens the true qi in the dantian little by little. With the continuous washing of the warm current and the continuous growth of true energy, Chen Fan suddenly felt that an invisible shackle in his body seemed to be broken. After a long time, when the warm current slowly subsided, Chen Fan clearly felt that his own strength had improved significantly. He exhaled slowly and opened the attribute panel. Host, Chen Fan. Boundary, Mid-Warrior Period. Battle Power, 3000. Martial Arts, Kaishengquan Proficient. To upgrade to the next level, you need 10,000 Krypton Gold. Chen Fan was surprised and delighted. I have practiced for so many years, but I am still only a warrior in the early stage. Just by raising the level of Kaishengquan to proficiency, I have broken through to the middle stage of martial arts. Combat power has also been increased from 1000 to 3000. The system is really powerful. With such a powerful system in hand, warriors, and grandmasters are all mediocre. Feng Wang is just around the corner. Feeling the majestic and exuberant power in his body, Chen Fan couldn't hold back his desire to experience new power. He stood up, opened his posture, mobilized his true energy, and began to perform the Mountain Fist. Kaishan Fist, as its name suggests, is powerful and fierce. When you practice to a high level, you can punch out with one punch, which has the power to open a mountain. Chen Fan has only upgraded the mountain opening fist to proficiency now, and there is naturally a huge gap from opening a mountain with one punch. However, the power of Kaishan Fist at the proficiency stage has already surprised Chen Fan greatly. One punch out. Call. The strong wind blown by the fist caused some small objects in the room to shake slightly. Hurrah! Chen Fan kept punching, and the more he hit, the more smooth he was. The real energy in his body was boiling, and his aura kept rising. There was a strong wind in the room, and the small objects on the table and shelves were blown to pieces. Snapped. When the aura climbed to the peak, Chen Fan punched out with a fist that condensed most of his true energy, and it actually pierced through the air, bringing out a crisp sound like an electric light explosion. When Chen Fan retracted his punches, he suddenly found that the room was in a mess, almost like a garbage dump. Fortunately, the sound insulation of the room is very good, otherwise such a big movement would have alarmed Li Qingmei and his wife. Chen Fan clicked his tongue and hurriedly cleaned up. In the next room, Chen Guogo was meditating and practicing, when he suddenly felt a powerful aura passing away. She concentrated on feeling suspiciously for a long while, but she didn't feel anything unusual. Could it be that there was an illusion just now? Chen Guogo thought for a while, but couldn't think of a reason. She shook her head, put the matter behind her, and continued to concentrate on cultivation. At this time, Chen Fan opened the system panel again with an excited expression. System, continue to Krypton Gold. The voice of the system rang in my mind. Martial arts. Kai Shengquan proficient. To upgrade to the next level, you need 20,000 Krypton Gold. Is it 20,000 yuan of Krypton Gold to upgrade Kai Shengquan to proficiency? Chen Fan's eyes widened in surprise, feeling pain in his flesh. It was only 2,000 Krypton Gold just now, is it directly to 20,000 now? The system's voice is emotionless. Every time the same martial skill is upgraded to a level, the amount of Krypton Gold required will increase by 10 times. Kaishin Fist is the lowest first-grade martial art, and the initial Krypton Gold amount of this martial art is already the minimum standard. Chen Fan. Careless, I didn't expect the Krypton Gold system to consume so much, it is simply a gold-swallowing beast. He borrowed 200,000 yuan from Liang Shalwa, thinking it would be enough for a while, but judging by his posture, he couldn't last for a few days at all. Chen Fan thought for a while, then tentatively asked, "System, can you bargain?" After a long silence, the system voice sounded again. "Host, please don't lower the style of this system." Chen Fan. Well, pretend I didn't say it. Although it is a bit inhumane not to be able to bargain, Chen Fan is already very satisfied with such a powerful system. Although upgrading martial arts is expensive, it is also worth the money. Chen Fan said to the system without hesitation. System, 20,000 Krypton Gold, upgrade Kai Shengquan. Krypton Gold is successful, 20,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Kai Shengquan will be raised to proficient. In the next second, a wave of memories flooded into my mind, all of which were deep insights and subtle insights into Kaishin Fist. It was just a matter of breathing, and Chen Fan felt that he was very familiar with the martial art of Kai Shengquan, as if he had practiced hard for more than 10 years. The skill of punching, the experience of exerting force, the subtle improvement of the mobilization and operation of Junchi, little by little, gathered sand into a tower, which greatly increased the power of this martial art in his hands. Chen Fan is very sure that if he casts the mountain fist now, the power will be much greater than before. Immediately afterwards, the familiar feeling reappeared. A more powerful warm current surged back and forth in his body, and Chen Fan felt that his meridians, bones, and flesh and blood were being strongly refined and became stronger. The true energy in the dantian is also rapidly expanding. After a while, the warm current in the body slowly faded away, and the turbulent true energy in the dantian gradually calmed down. Feeling the surging power in the body and the exquisite punching skills in the mind, Chen Fan couldn't wait to experience the power of the Kai Shan Fist that has reached proficiency. He made gestures, and with a thought, the true energy in his dantian was aroused. A stream of condensed junchi came out from the dantian and quickly flowed along the meridians in the body, bringing majestic power. Chen Fan threw out a punch. Snapped. It took only 5 cents of strength to punch through the air, causing the air to explode. How powerful is the Kaishin Fist that has been practiced proficiently? Chen Fan suppressed the surprise in his heart, calmed down, and continued to punch. Clap clap. The sound of air crackling continued, and strong air waves exploded in the room. Punching through the air, the momentum is like a mountain. In the hands of Chen Fan, the Kai Shengquan, which has reached proficiency, finally showed its true edge. Even if it is the lowest level first-grade martial skill, its power cannot be underestimated after it has been mastered. This is the power of a martial artist. Powerful martial arts are the greatest reliance for martial arts masters to protect the civilization of the human race. Chen Fan is full of fighting spirit, energetic like a dragon, and his punches are getting faster and faster. His body is in all directions, and the shadow of his fists is airtight. With the continuous punching, his momentum is also rising. Drink. Accompanied by a shout, Chen Fan swung the most powerful punch in the Kaishin Fist, and most of his strength was concentrated in this punch, pouring out all of it. Boom. It was as if a thunderbolt exploded on Chen Fan's fist. A strong and tyrannical wind and wave hit the wall fiercely, shaking off most of the wall's skin in an instant. Then, the wind and waves rushed out along the wall to both sides, setting off a gust of wind in the room. In an instant, the room felt like a storm was raging. Chen Fan was stunned. Just the wind of a fist can shake off the wall. If it was hit by a fist, the wall would probably not be much harder than a piece of tofu. Bang bang bang. There was a knock on the door. Li Qingmei stood at the door. Son, take it easy when you practice, don't demolish the house. Chen Fan didn't dare to let his mother see the room that had been turned into a garbage dump, so he only opened the door a crack. Okay, I get it, Mom, I've finished my cultivation. After dealing with his mother, he quickly closed the door. Turning his head to look at the wall stripped of his clothes, Chen Fan secretly clicked his tongue. Although he was mentally prepared, the power of Kaishan Fist clearly exceeded his expectations. Seemingly thinking of something, Chen Fan immediately opened the Properties panel. Host: Chen Fan. Boundary: Late Martial Arts. Battle Power: 5000. Martial Arts: Kai Shengquan Proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton gold. Sure enough, not only Kaishan Fist has been upgraded, but his realm has also been improved, breaking through from the middle stage of martial arts to the late stage. When the system was upgrading martial skills just now, he was busy experiencing the new insights and experiences in his mind, but he didn't notice that he made a breakthrough again without knowing it. No wonder the power of Kaishan Fist has increased so much. Chen Fan was very pleasantly surprised. He broke through to the late stage of martial arts so easily. As long as he goes one step further, he can become a martial artist. Becoming a warrior and being admitted to a prestigious school is a great hope. Martial arts cultivation is very difficult, and those who are not with extraordinary talents often have difficulty making a difference in martial arts throughout their lives. In the entire Dixing Middle School, there are only a handful of students who have broken through to warriors. Xiao Chen, who has the highest level of martial arts cultivation in the class, barely broke through to become a martial artist by taking medicine. This kind of forced breakthrough has an unstable foundation, and most of them left a lot of hidden dangers. But now, when others are working hard, they only need Krypton gold to become stronger directly, quickly and easily. There is a systematic feeling, but it is different. However, when he saw that Kaishan Fist was promoted to the next level with a Krypton gold amount of 100,000, Chen Fan suddenly became depressed again. It's really cool to make Krypton gold stronger, but it costs too much. He borrowed 200,000 from Liang Yu, and now there are still 178,000 left. At first, he thought it was a lot, but looking at it now, it is not enough for even one Krypton. The top priority now is to make money first, and make a lot of money. Every time the same martial skill is upgraded, the amount of Krypton gold will increase by 10 times. Kai Shengquan is only the lowest level of first-grade martial arts, and the initial Krypton gold amount is based on the minimum standard. Even so, after Kaishan Fist has been promoted to proficiency, the amount of Krypton gold for the next level will reach 200,000, and the next level will be 2 million. You must know that martial arts are divided into 9 ranks, above which there is good fortune martial arts, and there are even higher ranks above good fortune. If it is those 5 or 6, 8 or 9, or even the top martial arts above good luck, the amount of Krypton gold must break through the sky. Such an unimaginably huge amount cannot be counted on by my family, and my family is not a wealthy family. It is also impossible to find others to borrow, and you can only earn it by yourself. How do you earn so much money? The first thing Chen Fan thought of was alchemy. Chen Fan planned to be an alchemy teacher before. After all, he got full marks in alchemy classes every time, and his talent in alchemy was obvious. Now, he immediately thought that Krypton gold in the system can not only upgrade martial skills. You can also upgrade alchemy skills. Alchemy is extremely complicated and profound, and requires high talent, so the number of alchemists is very small, and high-level alchemists are extremely scarce. On the other hand, when practicing martial arts, the demand for various pills is very large. The superposition of the two reasons resulted in the price of pills on the market being very expensive. Alchemy is completely profitable. All alchemists are rich and wealthy. Moreover, the status of an alchemist is also very honorable. Alchemists are divided into 1st to 9th grades, and the higher existences above the 9th grade are beyond Chen Fan's knowledge. Rank 1 and 2 alchemists are barely common. An alchemist above rank 3 is no longer something ordinary people can see casually. Going up, the number of alchemists has decreased sharply, and their status is so noble that even the big men of the city lord level have to be respectful and even curry favor. Those high-level alchemists, every time they refine a batch of high-level elixir, it can cause a sensation among the martial arts experts and attract people to snap up it. Because high-level pills are too rare, they can't be bought with money, and they are completely priceless. Most of the time, in order to obtain some kind of high-level elixir, martial arts experts with top combat power either offer various rare treasures to alchemists in exchange, or are willing to encourage them. A powerful alchemist, although his combat power is often average, can call a large number of martial arts experts to serve him at any time. The high status of an alchemist can be seen from this. If you become an alchemist yourself, not only making money is as easy as eating and drinking, but you can also gain a very high status. The status revered by thousands of people is another kind of strength. With the help of the system, Krypton Gold upgrades alchemy skills and quickly becomes a master of alchemy, and then uses the money he earns to upgrade martial arts and improve his martial arts realm. Not only can you make money, but you can also make yourself quickly powerful, and have status, and you can achieve multiple things in one fell swoop. Thinking of this, Chen Fan quickly made up his mind. First upgrade his alchemy skills, and use his best alchemy to make money. Both alchemy and alchemy are divided into grades 1 to 9, and above grade 9, it is said that there are even higher grades. The grades of the pills correspond to the recipes one by one, and they are also divided into grades 1 to 9. For the pills of several grades, the refined medicines are of several grades. Below the first grade, there is also a junior that does not enter the grade. Although Chen Fan has good grades in alchemy courses, he only has a theoretical foundation and has not really practiced alchemy. He is not even a junior alchemist. What he has to do now is to learn the elementary alchemy technique first, starting from the elementary alchemy. Just do it. Chen Fan turned on the computer and logged into the official website of the Great Sha Alchemist Association. The official website of the Alchemist Association sells unqualified elementary alchemy techniques and some unqualified elementary alchemy recipes for the public to learn by themselves. In this way, people with alchemy talents can be discovered as much as possible among the people. In addition, there are first-rank alchemy and a small amount of first-rank alchemy. As for alchemy techniques and alchemy recipes of rank 2 and above, they are already relatively precious, and it is impossible to put them on the internet for people to buy casually. He first purchased the primary alchemy technique on the official website and spent 10,000. Afterwards, he selected from a bunch of junior pill recipes. After careful selection, Chen Fan finally chose Zhenqi San. As the name suggests, Zhenqi San is a kind of elixir that can convert the medicinal power into true qi and directly increase the true qi. Zhenqi powder is a common elixir necessary for martial arts practitioners. It consumes a lot, and the supply exceeds demand for a long time. It is also because of this that the cost of refining qi-boosting powder is very low, and the price is as high as 20,000 to 30,000 a piece, which is very profitable. It may be because of this reason that the price of Zhenqi San Dan Fang ranks among the top few among a bunch of elementary Dan Fang. Chen Fan spent 40,000 on this Dan Fang. Enduring the pain and paying, the official website shows that a special person has been arranged for delivery, and it will be delivered within 2 hours. The reason why the delivery is so fast is because the Alchemist Association has branches in various cities in Daxia. The primary alchemy and Qizong San Dan Fang purchased by Chen Fan were delivered directly by the Wuyong City branch. Soon, staff from the Wuyong City branch came to the door with packages. Mr. Chen Fan, please sign for it. I wish you success in your studies, Dan Dao Changlong. The staff are very respectful and polite to Chen Fan. Those who dare to spend tens of thousands of dollars on primary alchemy and alchemy formulas are more or less confident in alchemy, and they may be great alchemists in the future, so it's better to be respectful. Thank you, you are polite. After seeing off the staff, Chen Fan returned to the room with the package and carefully opened it. Elementary Alchemy is a thick book with a well-bound binding and an unsophisticated cover. The formula of Zhenqi San is a piece of thick paper with densely packed small characters and pictures. Chen Fan picked up the elementary alchemy technique and flipped through it a few times. Even though he was mentally prepared, he was still taken aback by the profound and mysterious content in the book. He, a genius with full marks in the alchemy class every time, was dizzy and confused. The complexity and profoundness of alchemy is really worthy of the name. Even the most basic level of alchemy, under normal circumstances, even if one has a good talent, it will take a long time to barely learn it. But Chen Fan will naturally not have such troubles now. System, learn elementary alchemy. The voice of the system immediately sounded in my mind. Alchemy, elementary alchemy not yet learned. To upgrade to the next level, 1000 yuan is required. Is 1000 yuan of Krypton gold raised to the entry level of alchemy? Chen Fan said without hesitation. Yes. Ding. He has successfully learned elementary alchemy. In the next second, a huge flood of memories flooded into Chen Fan's mind. In this memory, there are countless mysterious and complicated alchemy knowledge. In less than one breath, Chen Fan has a lot of experience and knowledge in refining primary elixir, processing medicinal materials, controlling the heat, refining and refining, making pills out of the oven. Numerous pictures and sentiments are vivid in my mind, as if I have refined various primary elixirs hundreds or thousands of times by myself. After accepting this memory, Chen Fan revisited it and found that the amount of knowledge contained in elementary alchemy far exceeds the alchemy courses in school. After all, the alchemy courses in the school are only used to lay the foundation, and the elementary alchemy is already a serious introduction to alchemy. After learning the elementary alchemy technique, Chen Fan realized more clearly how huge the knowledge contained in it is. If you come to learn by yourself, it is impossible to learn it in 3 to 5 years. For other people, it takes 10 or 8 years, and the possibility of learning is very small. And now, in the blink of an eye, I have basically mastered this knowledge. The system is too powerful. Chen Fan suppressed the joy in his heart, and picked up the prescription of zhengqi powder. There is no need to study the alchemy, because it is just a formula of medicinal materials, and you can remember it after a few glances. The specific experience in refining this kind of elementary elixir are all in the elementary alchemy. After looking at it repeatedly for a while, Chen Fan opened his attribute panel after firmly remembering the formula of Zhengqi San. Host, Chen Fan. Realm, late martial apprentice, early beginner alchemist. Battle power, 5000. Martial arts, Kai Shengquan proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton gold. Alchemy, elementary alchemy introductory. To upgrade to the next level, 10,000 yuan is required. Dan Fang, Zhengqi San. Seeing the display on the property panel, Chen Fan was overjoyed. I have become a junior alchemist. However, it is only in the early stage, and the success rate of refining primary elixir will not be very high. It is necessary to continue to improve the primary alchemy technique in order to ensure a high enough success rate in refining Qizong San. If the success rate of alchemy is too low, it will affect the efficiency of making money, and may even lose money. Thinking of this, Chen Fan said to the system. System, Krypton gold 10,000, upgrade primary alchemy. The voice of the system immediately sounded in Chen Fan's mind. Krypton gold is successful, 10,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of elementary alchemy will be raised to Shaocheng. Alchemy, elementary alchemy, small success. It takes 100,000 Krypton gold to upgrade to the next level. Immediately afterwards, a huge flood of memories flooded into my mind. After a while, Chen Fan found that he had a deeper understanding of the refining experience and knowledge of primary elixir. The comprehension this time is deeper and more comprehensive than before. Some details that were overlooked before have now been noticed, and there are perfect solutions. These subtle improvements and optimizations are superimposed little by little to form a tower, making the refining of elixir easier and smoother, and less prone to accidents. He is very sure that if he refines qi-enhancing powder now, the success rate will be much higher than before. Chen Fan did the math. He still has a little more than 100,000 left in his hand, which happens to be enough for another Krypton. He said without hesitation. System, Krypton gold 100,000, continue to upgrade primary alchemy. Krypton gold is successful, 100,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of elementary alchemy will be raised to Dacheng. Alchemy, elementary alchemy Dacheng has been upgraded to the highest level. In the next second, another wave of complicated memories flooded into my mind. Contained in this memory are countless experiences, perceptions and insights in the smallest details. Moreover, many of these perceptions and experiences can be said to be tailor-made for him, which are very suitable for his zhengqi nature, soul perception and other attributes, and belong to him alone. If it is another person, the effect of these perceptions and experiences will be greatly reduced. For the first time, Chen Fan experienced what it means to be truly mastered and mastered. He is very sure that the elementary alchemy technique is very successful, and it is almost impossible to fail any elementary alchemy he refines now. The success rate is infinitely close to 100%. Chen Fan opened his own property panel and took a look. Host: Chen Fan. Realm: late martial apprentice, late elementary alchemist. Battle power: 5000. Martial arts: Kai Shengquan proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton gold. Alchemy: elementary alchemy Dacheng has been upgraded to the highest level. Dan Fang. Zhongqi San. Seeing the words, late stage of junior alchemist, and Dacheng, Chen Fan felt an incomparable sense of satisfaction in his heart. I am now a senior junior alchemist. There is only one step away from a first-rank alchemist. Most of the elementary pills refined by elementary alchemists are provided for use by warriors, and the price ranges from a few thousand to tens of thousands. Although the profit is huge, the speed of making money is limited. After becoming a first-rank alchemist, you can refine first-rank pills. First-grade pills are mainly used by warriors. A first-grade pill can be as cheap as tens of thousands, and expensive as hundreds of thousands. Once you become a first-rank alchemist, you will really start making money quickly. But for now, let's keep our feet on the ground first. Let's start with refining qi boosting powder. Chen Fan, who has made up his mind, feels that the future is bright. Even if he is still a junior alchemist who is not a good grader, it is not difficult to earn tens of millions just by refining qi boosting powder. At that time, I will have the money to upgrade my martial arts, and I can even spend a lot of money to improve the life of my family. Chen Fan was full of enthusiasm and was ready to do a big job. Refining qi Zhong San, earn tens of millions of it first. But he immediately found himself in an embarrassing situation. The money is gone. Buying elementary alchemy and alchemy recipes, plus Krypton gold upgrades, can easily cost 3 to 50,000 or 100,000. The real cost is like water. The 200,000 borrowed from Liang Yu didn't hold up much at all. Without money, his alchemy career could not start. The medicinal materials needed to refine zhengqi powder are not expensive, but the alchemy furnaces needed for alchemy are all expensive. The cheapest alchemy furnace costs 300,000 yuan. Where can I get this 300,000 yuan? Chen Fan pondered for a while, then thought of Liang Yu. Then go to Colonel Liang to borrow money. This is not good, is it? You can't grab a sheep and squeeze it to death. What should you do if you get bald? Chen Fan thought about it, and found that the 300,000 yuan for the pill furnace was really difficult to get. It is definitely not acceptable to ask the family for money. I know very well what is going on at home. If I want to make up the 300,000 yuan, it will almost be a waste of money. I really can't bear it. Moreover, since I haven't entered university yet, if I say I want to make alchemy, I think it will scare the two old people. After all, they don't know they have a system. Looking for other students to borrow money. I thought too much. Except for Liang Yu and Bai Fumei, the rest of my class couldn't scrape together a few $1,000s. Xiao Chen's family is very good, but he couldn't ask him to borrow money if he took the wrong medicine. After pondering for a long time, Chen Fan found helplessly that he had no choice but to ask Liang Yu to borrow money with the cheek. Forget it, don't be ashamed. When a man does things, sometimes he has to be ashamed. At worst, if I make money by myself in the future, I will pay it back to her twice. Chen Fan spent a long time mentally building himself up, finally gritted his teeth, and dialed Liang Yu's number. On the first ring road of Wuyang City, there is a manor that occupies a large area. At the center of the estate is a huge castle-like villa surrounded by well-tended gardens. Being able to own such a manor in a place like Yiwan, where every inch of land is precious, shows the strength of the owner's family. This is Liang Yu's home. In the spacious living room with luxurious and restrained decoration, Liang Yu is nestling on the sofa, reading a thick book. Pale golden sunlight shone on her from behind through the tall floor-to-ceiling windows, and her waterfall-like hair was cast with a faint glow. Bathed in the warm sunshine, Liang Yu narrowed her eyes comfortably. Now she is like a soft and cute kitten, completely different from the cold and powerful image in front of outsiders. On the opposite side, Father Liang Jing was sitting on the sofa, drinking tea and reading newspapers at the same time. The father and daughter are enjoying the leisure time on the weekend. Beep beep. The cell phone rang suddenly. Liang Yu picked up her mobile phone and saw that it was Chen Fan's call. Her eyes lit up immediately, and she sat up abruptly, with a joyful smile unconsciously forming on the corners of her mouth. Liang Jingxian glanced at his daughter in surprise. Whose phone? My daughter's reaction is a bit unusual, isn't it? With a flash in his eyes, he immediately retracted his gaze and continued to read the newspaper calmly, but his ears were quietly pricked up. Liang Yu quickly connected the phone. Chen Fan, what are you looking for me for? Calling girls on weekends is mostly to ask someone out to play. Thinking of this, Liang Yu couldn't help but look forward to it. On the other end of the phone, Chen Fan's hesitant voice came. Well, I wonder if it's convenient for you to lend me another 300,000 yuan. Liang Yu froze for a moment, a hint of disappointment flashed in her eyes, but her tone was ridiculed. Did you spend the 200,000 you just borrowed so quickly? Are you looking for a woman outside because you spend so quickly? Chen Fan said awkwardly. No, I want to buy a pill furnace. Liang Yu's eyes widened in surprise. You want to make alchemy? You are not joking, are you? She opened her mouth slightly, and she was stunned in shock. Alchemy is something that students only start to learn in college, and most of the college students who specialize in alchemy can only master basic alchemy and start to try alchemy until they are in their third or fourth year of junior high school. In fact, in most first-class universities, one can successfully graduate after successfully refining a first-grade elixir. In the second and third-tier universities, one can even obtain a graduation certificate by refining unqualified primary elixirs. Now Chen Fan tells himself that he is about to try alchemy before he graduates from high school. How can this be? There is only one possibility to try alchemy at this stage of high school. He was born in a family of alchemists. Those people have been exposed to alchemy since they were young, and they have been exposed to alchemy very early, coupled with the unreserved and careful teaching of their elders. Even so, one has to be extremely talented to be eligible to try alchemy at the age of high school. Such people are extremely rare, and Chen Fan obviously does not belong to this category of people. Even himself, whose family's influence ranks at the forefront in the entire Wuyang city, has no ability to allow himself to have the strength of alchemy in high school. How did Chen Fan do it? Thoughts were churning in Liang Yu's mind, and she couldn't figure it out. On the other end of the phone, Chen Fan's clear voice interrupted her thoughts. No kidding, you know my character, I won't joke about this kind of thing. From Chen Fan's voice, she heard the incomparable seriousness and strong confidence. Having been a classmate for so many years, Liang Yu knows very well that Chen Fan is a calm, rational, honest and stable person. Since he dared to borrow money to try alchemy, he probably had a lot of confidence. Thinking of this, Liang Yu suppressed her doubts and said, Okay, I'll transfer the money to you right away. Chen Fan said gratefully, Thank you very much, I will pay you back in a few days. Liang Yu pursed her lips and smiled. Don't worry, it's okay if you don't pay it back. The debt repayment method I mentioned last time is still valid. The method of repaying the debt mentioned last time is to let him pay with his own body. Chen Fan, he gritted his teeth annoyed. You want me to pay you every day, do you really think I'm a weak and deceitful little white rabbit? No, you have to frustrate the status of a man. Chen Fan resolutely countered. All right, then I'll come over now. Liang Yu didn't expect him to answer like this. She was taken aback, subconsciously glanced at her father, her pretty face flushed immediately. She gritted her silver teeth slightly. I'm at home, no. Easy, convenient, we'll talk about it another day. After finishing speaking, he hung up the phone in a hurry. On the other end of the phone, Chen Fan snorted triumphantly as he imagined how Colonel Liang would run away. Little boy, I can't cure you anymore. There is a saying, it is really delicious and playful. In the Liang family villa, Liang Yu bit her lip in shame and anger, and passed the money to Chen Fan. Looking at the posture of the little daughter that her daughter had never seen before, and Liang Jingxian who was listening to the corner of the wall, she was so curious as to have hundreds of cat paws scratching in her heart. He picked up his teacup and took a sip, pretending not to care and asked. Yu, your classmate asked you to borrow money. Liang Yu came back to her senses, hesitated for a moment, and decided to tell the truth. Chen Fan wants to try alchemy, so he asked me to borrow money to buy an alchemy furnace. Chen Fan is a well-known god of learning in Dixing Middle School. She mentioned it to her father before, and his father knew him. Liang Jingxian was stunned. Try alchemy in high school? Liang Yu asked. Father, do you think it is possible for Chen Fan to be successfully refined? Liang Jingxian frowned and shook his head decisively. Absolutely impossible. I know the situation of Chen Fan. He is not the kind of genius who comes from an alchemy family. He paused, and shook his head regretfully. It's a pity that I was quite optimistic about this child before. After all, he is still a young man, lacks tempering, and his heart is not stable enough. He is too ambitious. Liang Jingxian looked at his daughter, and said implicitly, young people still need to learn to keep their feet on the ground. Liang Yu nodded, propped her chin, thoughtful. No matter how you look at it, it is impossible for Chen Fan to succeed, and his father is not optimistic about him at all. But why? I feel inexplicably that he can refine it successfully. Perhaps, the real genius is good at creating miracles. Chapter 11. Chen Fan's mobile phone soon received a reminder text message of 300,000 credits. With the funds in place, he can continue his alchemy career. Chen Fan calculated carefully. The 300,000 borrowed from Liang Yu was used to buy the alchemy furnace. With some money saved, he could probably buy 5 medicines. One piece of medicinal material can be refined into 10 copies of zengqi powder, which can be sold for more than 300,000 yuan. If I use all the money I have on hand to buy alchemy furnaces and medicinal materials, and sell them all to refine zengqi powder, I can earn more than 1.5 million yuan. Not counting the money to buy the alchemy furnace, the cost of medicinal materials is almost negligible. Alchemy is such a huge profit. Even a junior alchemist who is not good enough can make money so fast. Looking at the sky, it's getting late, so we can only start tomorrow. Chen Fan suppressed his excitement and anticipation, forced himself to go to bed, and fell asleep very late. The next morning, Chen Fan woke up, washed up in a hurry, and couldn't wait to go out. Chen Guogo came out from the next room with a yawn, and greeted Chen Fan sleepily. Brother, good morning. She took a few steps, as if suddenly realizing something. She stepped back in front of Chen Fan, staring at his face left and right. Chen Fan asked suspiciously, what's wrong? The sleepiness on Chen Guguo's face dissipated without a trace, and she said in surprise. Brother, why did you suddenly become handsome? The temperament seems to be different, and the skin is more delicate. After speaking, she subconsciously reached out to touch it. Chen Fan slapped her hand off, raised his hand to touch it himself, and didn't feel any change. Don't talk nonsense, your brother and I have always been so handsome, it's not like you don't know. Chen Guogo cast a big white eye. Yes, handsome Chen, you went out so early, did you have an appointment with a beautiful lady? Mother Li Qingmei was making breakfast. When she heard the door open, she poked her head out to have a look, and hurriedly shouted. Where are you going, son? Have breakfast first, it's almost ready. Chen Fan waved his hands without stopping. Don't eat, Mom, I have something to do. Li Qingmei frowned unhappily. Hey, you son of a fool, you don't even eat breakfast, relying on your youth and good health, don't get old and sick. You can't answer this, or she will talk about it all morning. Chen Fan pretended not to hear, and rushed out the door. To purchase alchemy furnaces and medicinal materials for refining zengqi powder, you need to go to the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is a subsidiary organization of the Alchemist Association, which specializes in selling things related to alchemy, such as alchemy furnaces, alchemy recipes, medicinal materials, etc. Many alchemists have refined pills, and they will give priority to selling them to the Chamber of Commerce, or put them on consignment for sale in the Chamber of Commerce. The purchase price of the Chamber of Commerce is very fair, and they will try their best to get the most suitable price for the alchemist to help the alchemist sell the pills, so as not to harm the alchemist's interests. After all, alchemists are considered members of the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce is a bit far away, so Chen Fan is going to take a taxi there. He was standing on the side of the road waiting for the bus, and someone greeted him. Brother Fan, Where are you going? Chen Fan turned his head and saw that it was a female student in the class. He was about to reply when the female classmate's eyes on Chen Fan's face suddenly became surprised. Brother Fan, I haven't seen you for a day, why do you suddenly become more handsome? Chen Fan was stunned. This is already the second person who said that he has become handsome. After thinking about it, Chen Fan guessed that it should be because of his breakthrough to the late martial arts stage. When breaking through, the body has been strengthened, the slight defects in appearance have been made up, and the improvement of the realm has also made one's temperament better. But this is just a change in the eyes of outsiders, and he himself doesn't feel much. After dealing with the female classmate, a taxi happened to come over. Chen Fan stopped the car and went straight to the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce. The Alchemist Chamber of Commerce is located in the first ring of Wuyang City. It is a palace-style building with a large area and an ancient shape. It is extremely tall. Entering the Chamber of Commerce, there were not many people in the spacious hall. This is not uncommon, neither the alchemy materials nor the finished pills are eligible for consumption by ordinary people. Chen Fan glanced at the hall casually, and went straight to the counter. Hello, I want to buy a primary alchemy furnace and 5 medicinal materials for refining zhengqi powder. The staff behind the counter looked at him with unconcealed surprise in their eyes. Come to buy alchemy furnace and alchemy medicinal materials. The boy in front of him turned out to be an alchemist. Judging by his age, he should still be in high school, right? People of this age come to the Chamber of Commerce to buy the pills used by warriors or warriors. In his life, he had never seen such a young alchemist with his own eyes. It's just that I've heard people say that among those top alchemy families, there are some geniuses with extremely high qualifications who can start alchemy at such a young age. Could it be that this young man came from an alchemy family? The staff was full of doubts, but out of caution, they didn't dare to show it. He said respectfully and nervously, "Okay, sir, please wait a moment. Don't turn around after finishing speaking, and walk quickly to the warehouse behind." Seeing the staff look on the verge of a formidable enemy, Chen Fan couldn't help being stunned. What's the situation? I just bought some things for alchemy, why is this person so nervous? Chen Fan was pondering, when suddenly a haughty and contemptuous voice came from behind. Hey, Chen Daishan, are you preparing for alchemy? Chen Fan turned his head and saw it was Xiao Chen. He was still holding a pill box in his hand. It seemed that he came to the Chamber of Commerce to buy pills. Chen Fan didn't want to pay attention to him, and gave a faint, hum. Xiao Chen's eyes widened in shock, his expression exaggerated and contrived. No, I just asked casually, you really want to make alchemy? No way, no way. If you get full marks in the alchemy class, do you really think you are a genius in alchemy? The alchemy class in high school is just to lay the foundation. Serious alchemy can only be encountered in college. This is common sense, you don't even know this. Chen Fan glanced at him. It's just the basic class, you fail every time, why is your face crooked in front of me? Xiao Chen froze for a moment. He gritted his teeth, put on a disdainful expression and said, the grades in the alchemy class are nothing, but the martial arts class is the foundation. I'm about to enter the midterm of warriors. When the final assessment is over, I will definitely become a blockbuster and hit all of you in the face with dazzling results. Chen Fan had no interest in figuring out exactly who this guy was talking about. He nodded indifferently, not hiding his perfunctory at all. All right, then I wish you soaring into the sky when the time comes. Seeing him like this, Xiao Chen felt as if he had been punched in the cotton, and felt uncomfortable all over, so he couldn't help clenching his teeth angrily. At this time, the staff of the Chamber of Commerce came over with 2 big boxes. Sir, here is the primary alchemy furnace you want, and 5 medicinal materials for refining zhengqi powder. Thank you. Chen Fan took the box and quickly paid with his mobile phone. He didn't want to argue with Xiao Chen, so he turned around and left. Before leaving, he glanced at the pill box in Xiao Chen's hand, thought about it, and reminded him lightly. The elixir is only an aid, and your own cultivation is the foundation. Just eat without cultivating, and be careful of being backlashed by the power of the medicine. Xiao Chen suddenly changed color, and said angrily, you. Seeing that he was ungrateful, Chen Fan twitched the corners of his mouth mockingly, didn't bother to pay any attention to him, and left straight away. After taking a taxi back home, Chen Fan cleared out an open space in the room, set up the alchemy furnace, and began to formally alchemy. In the room, a half-meter-high alchemy furnace stood quietly, with a heavy shape. The pill furnace is bronze in color, with mottled light patina on the surface, mysterious and ancient patterns carved on the body of the furnace, which has a sense of vicissitudes of time. Chen Fan meditated for a while and adjusted his breath to the peak state. Afterwards, he slowly raised his hand and patted the furnace with a palm. Thick junqi gushed out like a tide and penetrated into the furnace body. The patterns carved on the furnace body instantly lit up. True qi flows along the lines, just like running in the meridians of the human body. Through the modulation of these lines, the nature of true energy is changed, active and hot, like a flame. Alchemy cannot use ordinary flames. Either use true qi fire, or use abnormal fire. The fire of true energy can only be used to refine low-level elixirs, and high-level elixirs need different fires to refine. The strange fire is bred and born from the essence of heaven and earth, and the law of appearance is uncertain. Moreover, if no one takes it for maintenance after it appears, it will dissipate on its own after a period of time, which is extremely rare and rare. And this is also an important reason why high-level alchemists are so rare. Without the strange fire, one cannot be a high-level alchemist. Chen Fan was calm and concentrated, maintaining a steady output of true energy with all his energy. Under the baking of the fire of true energy, the furnace body gradually turned red, and radiated surging heat outward. Chen Fan felt the temperature in the furnace with his spiritual sense, and picked up a Ganoderma lucidum at the moment when the temperature was most suitable. He crushed the Ganoderma lucidum into powder with his true energy, and sprinkled the Ganoderma powder into the alchemy furnace with some mysterious technique. Concentrating on feeling the changes of the Ganoderma lucidum powder in the alchemy furnace, Chen Fan seized the right moment and grabbed a few red-bellied ginseng plants. He quickly crushed the red-bellied ginseng into finger-sized pieces and threw it into the alchemy furnace. Chen Fan precisely and skillfully controlled the heat, and added several auxiliary ingredients to the alchemy furnace one after another. Gradually, under the modulation of the flame, various medicinal materials turned into a cloud of reddish-gray medicinal mist, tumbling and surging in the pill furnace. A strong medicinal fragrance emanates from the alchemy furnace. Chen Fan observed the changes in the medicine mist, and at the moment when the medicine mist was in the most perfect state, he suddenly withdrew his true energy. The alchemy furnace quickly began to cool down. Afterwards, Chen Fan pumped up his whole body's energy, and a few strands of condensed true energy escaped from his fingers, probed into the alchemy furnace, and stirred slowly. Under the guidance of true energy, the medicine mist quickly dispersed, condensed, and cooled down. After a while, a cloud of reddish-gray medicinal powder appeared at the bottom of the furnace. Each grain of medicinal powder was the size of a grain of sand, so it was more appropriate to call it medicinal sand. This is zhengqi sand. Chen Fan made an estimate, and the volume of this puffy powder is exactly 10 servings. His first alchemy was perfect, and the medicinal materials reached the highest utilization rate. If the utilization rate is low, the finished product of zhengqi sand will not reach 10 servings. Looking at the rising air at the bottom of the furnace, the joy in Chen Fan's heart is beyond words. These boosting qi powders, seemingly ordinary, are the signs that he has truly become an alchemist. It is also the beginning of becoming a strong martial artist. Chen Fan did not intend to sell these 10 copies of zhengqi powder, he decided to take it himself. After all, it is the result of the first alchemy, which is of great significance. Chen Fan scooped out the medicinal powder from the bottom of the furnace, divided it into 10 evenly, and wrapped them in paper. Afterwards, he took a dose of zhengqisin and began to meditate and adjust his breath. The medicinal power of zhengqi powder was released quickly in his stomach, and Chen Fan only felt a flame ignited in his body. Fortunately, this group of flames is relatively gentle, not reaching the level of tyranny and ferocity. Chen Fan mobilized his true qi, which quickly circulated in his meridians. The medicinal power of zhengqi powder permeates into the true qi, and circulates in the body along with the true qi. During this process, the power of the medicine was also quickly refined into true qi, which grew little by little at a speed visible to the naked eye. After the medicinal power of zhengqi powder was completely refined, Chen Fan's true energy had returned to its peak state, and the true energy consumed during alchemy just now had been fully recovered. Chen Fan took another dose of zhengqi powder, and continued to meditate to refine the medicinal power. After a while, the medicinal power of this Qi Zhongsan was also refined. Feeling the surging true energy in his body, Chen Fan clearly felt that his cultivation had improved significantly. The infuriating energy is majestic, the energy is like a dragon, this feeling of speed and strength is really wonderful. Picking up another pack of Qi boosting powder, Chen Fan hesitated for a moment. You can't eat as much medicine as you want. The amount of elixir to take depends on a certain ratio of factors such as one's own cultivation and physique, and the specific amount varies from person to person. If you take too much pill, the ratio will be out of balance, and you will be backlashed by the medicinal power. Chen Fan adjusted his breath for a while, feeling that he hadn't reached his limit, so he was relieved. So he took another dose of enriching Qi powder, and continued to meditate and refine. After refining the medicinal power of this enhancing Qi powder, Chen Fan felt that the invisible shackles in his body began to loosen under the impact of surging zhengqi. He was very pleasantly surprised. I am about to break through from the late stage of the warrior to the realm of the warrior. Realizing this, Chen Fan stopped immediately and stopped taking medicine for refining. It's okay to break through the small realm by relying on the power of medicine, basically it won't affect anything. But if it's a breakthrough in a big realm, it's best not to rely on taking medicine, because it's easy to lose the foundation. Relying on one's own practice to break through the big realm, the foundation is the most solid. Of course, this is for others. Chen Fan has another option, Krypton gold in the system to break through. The system is extremely powerful, relying on Krypton gold to break through the big realm, the foundation is very solid, and there will be no hidden dangers. But now he has no money to Krypton gold, so he is counting on refining the Qi boosting powder to sell it for money. Chen Fan withdrew his thoughts and continued to refine. The fire of true Qi was ignited again and again, and the herbs were thrown into the alchemy furnace, and the fragrance of the herbs filled the room, accumulating continuously, and gradually became rich like substance. Chen Fan devoted himself wholeheartedly to the refining of zhengqi san, forgetting to eat and sleep. Time passed little by little. Son, come out for lunch. Mother Li Qingmei knocked on the door outside. Without looking back, Chen Fan kneaded a Ganoderma lucidum into powder and threw it into the alchemy furnace. Don't eat, I'm busy. You eat. After a while, Chen Guogo knocked on the door. Brother, do you want to eat fruit? Chen Fan was scooping up the medicine powder at the bottom of the furnace, and he didn't pay attention at all, and said casually. Not hungry, eat first. Leave me alone. Outside the door, Chen Guogo was stunned. She looked at the fruit plate in her hand and shook her head. What the hell is brother busy with? Everyone is so busy, tisk tisk tisk. Chen Fan wrapped the last portion of zhengqi powder in paper, looked at the pile of paper medicine packets in front of him, and felt a sense of harvest in his heart. Including the few servings I ate just now, a total of 50 servings of Qi Zhongsan were refined. Never failed once, 100% success rate. And every time the medicinal materials have reached the highest utilization rate. If others knew that Chen Fan, a junior pharmacist, could do this, they would definitely be shocked. 10 packs of zhengqi powder can be made from one medicinal material, which is the theoretical maximum value. In fact, many senior alchemists can't do this level. It is already quite remarkable to be able to refine 7 or 8 packs. Seeing that it was still early, Chen Fan took more than 40 packets of air boosters and left the door, preparing to sell them at the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce. If you sell these Qi boosting powders, you can get more than 1.5 million. When we arrived at the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce, Chen Fan was greeted by the same staff as last time. This man was very impressed with Chen Fan. As soon as he saw him, he recognized him immediately. The staff showed a respectful smile. Sir, are you here to buy medicinal materials? According to his speculation, Chen Fan must have run out of zhengqi powder medicinal materials he bought last time, and there was no refining result, so he bought medicinal materials again and continued to try refining. The alchemy path is difficult, and it's normal to fail in refining, let alone such a young beginner. The staff didn't have the slightest idea of laughing at Chen Fan. Chen Fan shook his head. I'm here to sell zhengqi san. After thinking for a while, he added, sell zengqi powder first, and then buy some medicinal materials for zengqi powder. If he doesn't sell the medicine first, he won't even have the money to buy the medicinal materials, so poor. Hearing Chen Fan's words, the smile on the staff's face froze. Sell zengqi-san. This boy actually succeeded in refining. He should be trying alchemy for the first time, otherwise he wouldn't have come here to buy a primary alchemy furnace just yesterday. The first refining was successful. What kind of genius is this? Those geniuses from the family of alchemists can't do it, can they? The staff looked at Chen Fan in shock, and it took a long time before he managed to recover, and stumbled and said, Okay, sir, how many copies do you want to sell? Chen Fan took out a large pile of paper medicine packets of Qi Booster and spread them out on the counter. The staff were dumbfounded, and he counted roughly, unable to believe his eyes. More than 40 packs of zengqi-san. The boy bought 5 copies of zengqi powder yesterday, and theoretically, he can only refine 50 copies of the finished product at most. The first time he tried alchemy, he actually made more than 40 packets. What kind of monster is this? The staff couldn't believe it. He tentatively asked. These were all made by you alone. Chen Fan looked at him suspiciously. Of course. It wasn't made by one person. Could it be that several people worked together to make it? There is no such method in alchemy. This person's words are really strange. Hearing Chen Fan's affirmative answer, the staff swallowed subconsciously, and said with some difficulty. I need to check the quality of the elixir, please understand. Chen Fan nodded indifferently. Okay, I'll trouble you. When selling things, it is natural to check the quality of the goods, which is a matter of course. The staff picked up the phone and said a few words, and called a few colleagues to come over and check together. After all, there are a lot of zengqi-san, and it would take too much time to check them all. A group of people gathered behind the counter, and when they heard that the pile of Qi boosting powder in front of them was made by the young man in front of the counter, they all looked at him in shock. They unpacked each paper medicine package, checked it carefully, and found that this batch of Qi Zhongsan was not adulterated, and the quality was quite good. The staff responsible for receiving Chen Fan no longer had any doubts, and quickly handled the payment procedures for Chen Fan. Sir, please fill out this form first. Chen Fan took it over and saw that it was a registration form. There are mandatory items such as name, age, bank card number, etc., which is normal. After all, the Chamber of Commerce must have these information to send money. In addition, there are some items about personal details, which can be filled in optionally. Chen Fan only filled in a few required fields, leaving the other fields blank. After receiving the registration form, the staff couldn't help but twitch their eyes when they saw Chen Fan's age. Just grown up. This is the real genius. After completing the payment procedures and respectfully watching Chen Fan walk out of the Chamber of Commerce, several staff members exploded. My God, what kind of genius is this? His name is Chen Fan. He is not ordinary at all. For the first time alchemy, you can succeed, and there is such a high success rate. Yeah, 5 parts of medicinal materials, refining more than 40 parts of Qi Zhongsan, this kind of talent is too scary. It's just like a monster. Everyone nodded in agreement. The talent of an alchemist is nothing more than 2 aspects, the success rate of refining and the utilization rate of medicinal materials. With 5 medicinal materials, theoretically, a maximum of 50 copies of zengqi powder can be refined, but Chen Fan has refined more than 40 copies of the finished product. The refining success rate is 100%. The utilization rate of medicinal materials is also above 90%. This talent is simply unheard of. In fact, this group of working people did not know that Chen Fan had actually refined 50 servings of Qi boosting powder. He ate 3 packs himself and kept a few packs for later use. If they knew this situation, these staff members would be so shocked that their jaws would drop. Everyone was amazed and discussing. A calm and deep voice sounded. These Qi boosting powders were refined by a young boy who just came of age. Everyone turned their heads and saw that it was Tian Honggang, a martial arts master stationed at the Chamber of Commerce. The staff member who received Chen Fan before hastily replied. Yes, Mr. Tian, it is absolutely true. This boy is called Chen Fan. Yesterday he came to buy a primary alchemy furnace and 5 medicinal materials for refining zengqi powder. I was in charge of receiving him. Today, he came to sell zengqi powder, and there are more than 40 copies of the finished product. I confirmed with him that these were indeed made by himself. The staff member took out the information form filled out by Chen Fan and handed it to Tian Honggang respectfully. Look, this is his information. Tian Honggang took it over and took a few glances, with an expression of disbelief on his face. He was silent for a while, nodded, and said expectantly, "Such a talented boy is too rare. Next time he comes over, remember to call me. I will come and meet him in person." The staff member quickly agreed. When Tian Hong just left, several people looked at each other with envy in their eyes. Mr. Tian is a martial arts master who has been famous for many years and has a wide network of contacts. If he is favored by him, if he gets a little help, he will be able to soar into the sky and have a smooth future. We ordinary people can only envy the opportunity of a genius. Chen Fan walked out of the gate of the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce, and looked at the reminder message on his mobile phone with more than 1.5 million accounted, feeling very happy. More than 1.5 million. Many ordinary people can't make so much money in their lifetime. It's a rich overnight. This is the strength of an alchemist, making money is as easy as eating and drinking. However, most alchemists also have an obvious flaw. Because most of the energy is spent on studying alchemy, there is not much time to practice martial arts, and his own martial arts cultivation is not strong enough, and he needs the protection of other martial arts experts. Thinking of this, Chen Fan suddenly remembered that the school's final exam is coming soon. For the final assessment, there is no need to worry about the culture course itself, but there are some problems with the martial arts course. The last time I spent Krypton gold, I only raised the realm of martial arts to the late martial arts stage. It is impossible to get a good rank in the final assessment. If I want to be admitted to a prestigious school, I have to improve my martial arts as soon as possible. Xiao Chen, didn't you show off yesterday that you were about to break through to the middle stage of martial artist, and you are going to slap me in the face in the final assessment? If he really succeeds, will he have to mock me every day in the future? He must not be given this chance. Besides, the rewards for the final assessment are quite generous. The top 10 rewards are 1 million, and the first prize is 5 million. 5 million, even for him now, is a huge sum of money. Even for this huge sum of money, we must strive to win the first place in the final assessment. What's more, if you finish the top 3 in the final assessment, you can go to the school's arsenal to select second-grade martial arts, and you will also receive key training from the school. Second-grade martial arts are something money can't buy. The school's key training is even more helpful for improving one's cultivation. Thinking of this, Chen Fan stopped a taxi and went straight to the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce. Go to the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce to buy a first-grade martial skill, upgrade it with Krypton gold, and improve your martial arts skills as soon as possible. The Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce is a subordinate organization of the Martial Arts Association, similar to the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce. However, what is sold in the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce is martial arts, weapons and other things that martial arts people need. Elementary martial arts suitable for warriors, as well as some first-grade martial arts suitable for warriors, can be bought here. As for the martial arts above the second rank, they cannot be bought by spending money alone. Arriving at the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce, Chen Fan glanced at the domineering shape of the Chamber of Commerce building, and walked in quickly, not in the mood to appreciate it carefully. "Hello, I want to buy a first-grade martial skill." The staff of the Martial Arts Chamber of Commerce gave him a surprised look with admiration in their eyes. Such a young martial artist. The staff respectfully took out a thick booklet. "Sir, here are all the first-grade martial arts sold by the Chamber of Commerce, please choose." Chen Fan took the booklet and flipped through it carefully. Seeing the prices of various first-grade martial arts in the brochure, Chen Fan couldn't help but twitched his eyes. 150,000, 200,000, 280,000, 300,000, 350,000. Good guy, here, it feels like money is worthless. After choosing for a long time, he finally chose a sword technique and a body training technique. The price of the first-grade sword technique, Benyan sword technique, is 300,000. The price of the first-grade body training technique, Lei Forging Body Ju, is 350,000. Among the first-grade martial arts, the prices of these two martial arts are relatively expensive. But the effect is quite good, worthy of its price. As an alchemist, it is not difficult to make money, you can spend what you need, and you can't lose money if you spend more on martial arts. After paying, the staff brought two thick books with excellent quality and simple covers. Sir, here are the martial arts you want, the cloud-breaking sword technique, and the Lei body forging art. Okay, thanks a lot. After receiving these two books, Chen Fan hurried home without stopping. Back home, Mother Li Qingmei was cooking dinner. Father Chen Dexing went out to work, and sometimes he only had one day off a week. Chen Guogo saw Chen Fan rushing in with two thick books in his arms, and greeted him. Brother, you. Before she finished speaking, Chen Fan rushed into the room and closed the door. Chen Guogo. She pursed her lips and turned to complain to her mother. Mom, look at him, big brother. I don't know what I'm doing all day. Talk to him and ignore me. Li Qingmei beats her daughter. Your brother must be busy, don't disturb him. Chen Guogo stomped her feet angrily. It's partial. Am I still your caring little padded jacket? Li Qingmei killed directly. Caring is caring, but it's a bit leaky from time to time. Chen Guogo. In the room, Chen Fan spread out two martial arts books, flipped through them briefly, and then gave up directly. His talent lies in alchemy and martial arts. In all conscience, he is somewhere between an ordinary person and a good-for-nothing. Otherwise, he wouldn't have practiced for so many years and still stay in the early stage of martial arts. Chen Fan calls the system decisively. System, Krypton Gold. Upgrade the Bengyun sword technique and Lei body forging technique. The sound of the system sounded in Chen Fan's mind, and it sounded extremely pleasant. Martial arts. Bengyun swordsmanship unlearned. To upgrade to the next level, 5,000 yuan is required. Is it 5,000 yuan of Krypton gold to upgrade the Bengyun swordsmanship to the entry level? Chen Fan said without hesitation. Yes. Krypton gold is successful, 5,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Bengyun swordsmanship will be raised to beginner. The next moment, a memory containing a lot of swordplay perception and experience flooded into Chen Fan's mind like a tide. In just one breath, Chen Fan felt that he was quite familiar with the martial skill of bending cloud sword art. It was as if he had practiced this sword technique hard for several years. Every move, every style, has been thoroughly familiarized. Many of the skills of exerting strength and tricks of changing moves against the enemy are also firmly in mind, and basically can be used smoothly. Then, a hot current seemed to come from the void, pouring into Chen Fan's body. This hot current rushed back and forth in the body, continuously improving Chen Fan's physique and strength. The junqi in the dantian also surged up and slowly began to increase. When the heat wave receded from his body, Chen Fan let out a breath slowly, feeling the majestic power in his body, and showed a pleasant smile. Relying on Krypton gold, I can instantly learn a powerful swordsmanship, and my cultivation level has also improved significantly. This kind of experience is really wonderful. The system voice sounded again. Martial skill. Lei Yin body forging Ju not yet learned. To upgrade to the next level, 6,000 yuan is required. Would it be 6,000 yuan of Krypton gold to raise the Lei Yin body calcining formula to the entry level? Chen Fan immediately said, yes. Krypton gold is successful, 6,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Lei Yin body forging art will be raised to beginner. In the next second, another huge memory flooded into my mind. In the memory, there are a lot of insights and experiences of practicing Lei Yin's body calcining formula. In a short while, Chen Fan learned the Lei Yin body forging art, a martial skill for body training. After accepting all this memory in his mind, Chen Fan's spirit froze, and he felt a strange force pouring into his body. In this force, it seems that there are countless small thunders. These thunders exploded in the body one after another, and invisible shock waves washed back and forth in the body like a raging tide. The body is constantly trembling from the inside to the outside, the blood, muscles, bones, and even every cell and pore. Tigers and leopards thunder, muscles and bones scream together. Chen Fan's body was constantly being strengthened, and the strength in his body was also increasing, and soon reached a certain limit. Subsequently, click, it was as if a voice exploded in my mind. An invisible shackle was violently broken by the ever-growing force. Chen Fan's body began to undergo earth-shaking changes from the inside out. As if the power hidden in the deepest part of the body was awakened, huge power continuously emerged from the body. Chen Fan clearly felt that his body continued to be strengthened again. Vitality is like the sea, blood is like a dragon. The meridians are constantly widening and becoming stronger. Dantian was slowly reshaped, from a small pond to a big lake. The infuriating energy that can be accommodated has been doubled several times. The junqi in the body also changed from a gurgling brook to a raging river. When everything returned to calm, Chen Fan adjusted his breath for a long time, and let out a breath slowly. Swish! Get angry like an arrow. The air he exhaled condensed into a condensed air arrow, shot out quickly, and then dissipated in the air. Chen Fan felt that he had never been so powerful. He realized something and opened his property panel. Host: Chen Fan. Realm: Early Stage Warrior, Junior Alchemist. Battle Power: 10,000. Martial Arts: Kaishin Boxing Proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton Gold. Benyan Swordsmanship Beginner requires 50,000 Krypton Gold to upgrade to the next level. Leian Body Forging Ju Beginner, to upgrade to the next level, requires 60,000 Krypton Gold. Alchemy: Elementary Alchemy Dacheng has been upgraded to the highest level. Dan Fang. Zhongqi San. Sure enough, I broke through to the realm of warriors. The combat power has also risen to 10,000. This powerful feeling turned out to be the power of a warrior. Chen Fan suppressed his excitement and did some calculations. It cost a total of more than 660,000 yuan to buy the Benyan sword technique and Leian forging body Ju, plus Krypton Gold to learn these two martial arts. I earned more than 1.5 million from selling chi boosting powder, and now there are nearly 900,000 left, and I can spend more money. The money earned is used for Krypton Gold upgrades, and it is a waste to keep it in your hands. The final exam is coming soon. In order to develop more powerful second-grade martial skills, and the school's key training, it is necessary to improve the martial arts as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Chen Fan said decisively. System: Krypton Gold. Continue to upgrade the Benyan sword technique and Leian body forging technique. Martial arts: Benyan swordsmanship introductory. Upgrading to the next level requires 50,000 Krypton Gold. Is it 50,000 yuan of Krypton Gold to improve the Benyan swordsmanship to proficiency? Chen Fan said without hesitation. Yes. Krypton Gold is successful. 50,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Benyan swordsmanship will be raised to proficient. The next moment, as another wave of memories flooded into his mind, Chen Fan's mastery of Benyan swordsmanship was further advanced. A large number of power-strengthening skills, changing tricks, etc., have been skillfully used, almost integrated. In my mind, there are also some exquisite experiences against the enemy, and a unique understanding of the opponent's swordsmanship. Afterwards, the familiar heat flow came from the void again and poured into the body. When the heat receded, the true qi in the body became thicker. Chen Fan clearly felt that his strength had improved again. Martial arts: Leian body forging Ju introductory. To upgrade to the next level requires 60,000 Krypton Gold. Is it 60,000 yuan of Krypton Gold to upgrade the Leian body calcining formula to proficiency? Chen Fan recovered from the wonderful feeling of strength improvement, and immediately said, yes. Krypton Gold is successful. 60,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Leian body forging art will be raised to proficient. As the system's voice fell, the previous power that seemed to contain countless small thunders emerged from the body again. Leian forged body. With the explosion of countless thunders, dense shock waves rushed back and forth one after another. During this process, the body is rapidly strengthened from the inside to the outside, from top to bottom, without any part being missed. When the thunderous power faded away, Chen Fan recovered from the incomparably wonderful feeling. He calculated that if the Benyan sword art and Leian En body art were upgraded, they would cost 500,000 and 600,000 respectively. Chen Fan said without hesitation. System: Krypton Gold. Continue to upgrade Leian body forging technique. The body is the foundation of martial arts. Only when the body is strong enough can it contain powerful qi and perform high-level martial arts. Therefore, Chen Fan did not hesitate to spend the last Krypton gold on Lei Yin's body forging art. When the thunderous power faded again, Chen Fan opened the attribute panel while experiencing the power of the boost again. Host: Chen Fan. Realm: Early Stage Warrior, Junior Alchemist. Battle Power: 22,000. Martial Arts: Kaishin Boxing Proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton gold. Benyan Swordsmanship Proficiency requires 500,000 Krypton gold to upgrade to the next level. Leian Body Calcining Formula Proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 6 million Krypton gold. Alchemy: Elementary Alchemy Dacheng has been upgraded to the highest level. Dan Fang. Zhongqi San. Krypton Gold has upgraded 2 first-grade martial skills. Although the martial arts realm has not broken through again, Chen Fan feels that he is very close to breaking through again. And the combat power has been directly increased from 10,000 to 22,000. More than doubled. Now Chen Fan only has more than 100,000 yuan left in his hands, which is just used to buy medicinal materials for refining zhengqi powder. More than 1.5 million was consumed in a blink of an eye, and he needed to continue to make money. Bang bang bang. Chen Guogo knocked on the door outside. Brother, come out for dinner. If you don't eat, you will starve to death. Chen Fan smiled, packed up, opened the door and went out. The whole day today is really busy like never before, and I don't have much time to eat. Now he is indeed hungry. At the dinner table, Chen Guogo looked at Chen Fan carefully, feeling a little puzzled. Brother, you haven't eaten all day, why do you look so good? Father Chen Dexing also took a serious look, and nodded in relief. It smells really good. Chen Fan babbled nonsense. I, Mr. Chen, have a high level of cultivation and have already reached the level of Bigu. I can still be alive and kicking without eating for a day. Chen Guogo rolled her eyes. Cut, then don't eat it later, leave it to me. Chen Dexing watched the two brothers and sisters bickering with a generous smile on his face. Li Qingmei put a sumptuous meal on the table, stopping the brother and sister who wanted to stand up to help. No, I'll do it, let's start eating, the food won't taste good when it's cold. Chen Fan was really hungry, so he picked up his chopsticks and started working. Chen Guogo looked at Chen Fan gobbling it up, and opened his small mouth slightly, he even forgot to pick up the rice. Brother, slow down, don't choke, I won't fight with you. Li Qingmei was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth from ear to ear. Don't worry about your brother, this is how a man should eat, how can he eat like a little girl embroidering flowers? Chen Fan. No, Guguo's curse came true, and Lao Ji really choked. On Monday, early in the morning, Chen Fan woke up refreshed, washed up, and went to call his younger sister who was still soundly asleep. Guogo, wake up. Chen Guogo woke up very angry. Brother, you are so annoying. Let me sleep again. Chen Fan was tough and dragged her off the bed. You'll be late if you sleep in. Moaning, Chen Guogo was dragged to the bathroom by Chen Fan, where she washed her face and brushed her teeth like sleepwalking, and then was dragged downstairs by Chen Fan again, and stuffed into a taxi. Master, go to Yanming Middle School. When you get there, if she falls asleep again, please wake her up. The taxi driver held back his smile and agreed, okay, don't worry. After seeing off his sister, Chen Fan called his buddy Zhong Lin again. Furky, have you set off yet? Mu is his special name for Zhong Lin. On the other end of the phone, Zhong Lin's voice sounded a little flustered. Come here, wait for me for 5 minutes. About 10 minutes later, Zhong Lin rushed over from the next neighborhood. Panting, he stopped in front of Chen Fan and looked at his phone. It's okay, it's still early, I won't be late. When he arrived at school, Chen Fan first went to the office of the head teacher, Su Xingyu. Sister Su, during this period of time, I want to transfer to part-time study temporarily, and I won't live in the school dormitory. I will go home to rest after school every day. He wants to continue to refine chi boosting powder to make money, and use it to improve his martial arts skills. There is no place to do this in school, so he can only do it at home. Su Xingyu pushed the black-rimmed glasses on the bridge of her nose, her long straight legs in black silk casually folded, and looked at Chen Fan with some doubts. Why did you suddenly switch to study? Chen Fan has long thought of an excuse. The final exam is coming soon. Go home, eat, drink, rest, and try to get a good grade in the exam. This reason is actually a bit far-fetched, because the dining hall and dormitory conditions of Dixing Middle School are very good, and there is no problem of not being able to eat well or sleep well. But because of Chen Fan's aura of learning, Su Xingyu has always trusted him. Although he felt that his reason was not very reliable, he didn't ask any more questions and simply agreed. Okay, I'll help you complete the procedures for transferring to day school within today. Chen Fan happily said. Thank you, Miss Su. After finally finishing school, Chen Fan immediately got up and prepared to go home. His buddy Zhang Lin called him. Brother Fan, wait for me and go back to the dormitory together. Chen Fan, I'm not going back to the dormitory. I applied with Sister Su. During this time, I'm going to go home. Zhang Lin looked at him in shock. Brother Fan, you actually secretly turned around behind my back. Are you going to break our agreement to go to and from school together? Chen Fan rolled his eyes at this guy, and didn't bother to talk to him anymore. Walking to the door of the classroom, a clear and magnetic voice called him from behind. Chen Fan, wait a minute. Liang Yu caught up and walked side by side with him. You turned away to study, come home with me, I will ask the driver to take you first. Liang Yu is a day student and doesn't live in the school. She is picked up by a driver every day. Chen Fan thought for a while, and decisively agreed. Okay, then I won't be polite to you. Rubbing Liang Yu's car was not to save money or anything else. The main reason is that it is too troublesome to take a taxi every day. It was not easy to take a taxi outside the school gate, so he had to walk a few streets to find a good place to take a taxi. The time after school is so little, it is very precious, and it should be used to refine Zhengqi-san to make money. The driver of Liang Yu's family was waiting at the school gate in a luxury business car. This car is exquisite and elegant in shape, calm and majestic, exuding a luxurious look. Chen Fan took a few glances, and sat in the back seat with Liang Yu. Seeing his young lady getting into the car with the boy for the first time, the driver looked shocked, recovered, and quickly controlled his expression. He looked at Chen Fan from the rearview mirror, and started the car thoughtfully. Uncle Lu, please take my classmate home first. The driver said respectfully, good lady. In the car, Chen Fan was thinking about alchemy and Krypton gold, no one spoke, and the car was very quiet. Liang Yu leaned sideways and carefully sized Chen Fan up, with a hint of doubt in her admiring eyes. Chen Fan felt a little uncomfortable when she saw her. Why do you keep looking at me? Liang Yu said curiously. Is it my illusion? I always think you are more handsome. Chen Fan was stunned for a moment, and suddenly understood. No wonder in class today, he felt that the girls in the class seemed to glance at him more frequently than before. It turned out that it was not his illusion. This should be the credit of Lei Yin's body refining technique. The first-grade body refining technique has greatly improved the appearance and temperament, which is far beyond the comparison of ordinary people. He raised his eyebrows, squinted at Liang Daxiao's beauty, and said, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. After saying the words, he suddenly realized that there was something wrong with what he said. Liang Yu let out a snort, her pretty face blushed, she was shy and funny, but she restrained herself, pretending to be serious and said, I think what you said makes sense, classmate Chen Qishi. Chen Fan. Seeing Chen Fan's indescribable expression, Liang Yu finally couldn't help it, and leaned forward and backward with a smile. Ha 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 ha. Chen Fan didn't give her another chance to laugh at herself, and changed the subject abruptly. Yu, the 500,000 I owe you will be paid back to you within this week. In the past 2 days, I have refined some gas-increasing powder to sell money. In addition to my Krypton gold upgrade, it is not difficult to set aside 500,000 to return to Liang Yu. Liang Yu said with a smile. No need, meat compensation is fine too, classmate Chen Qishi. Squeak. The car suddenly tilted. The driver stepped on the brakes and turned the steering wheel quickly, turned the car back to the front as fast as he could, and apologized to Liang Yu with embarrassment on his face. I'm sorry, miss. Liang Yu suppressed a smile. Uncle Lu, you are too timid. Chen Fan gave Liang Yu a meaningful look. Liang Daxiao, you are not very courageous, you are good at cooking and love to play. When the car arrived outside the Chen Fan community, Liang Yu exhorted. From now on, you have to wait for me when you get home from school. I've already contracted to take you home, do you understand? Chen Fan thought about it, and felt that there was no need to refuse. Okay, thank you. Liang Yu smiled and said. Thank you, what I want is not your thanks. Chen Fan glared at her with threats in his eyes. Come again, love to play so much. Then I'm going to make a move. Liang Yu received his threat, retreated into the car decisively, and fled. Goodbye, see you tomorrow. Chen Fan shook his head, returned home, ate dinner, and immediately began to refine chi-boosting powder. For the next week, Chen Fan took Liang Yu's car home every day after school. Except for eating and sleeping, the rest of the time was spent on alchemy. He provided chi-boosting powder to the Alchemist Chamber of Commerce with 70 packs per day. Because he usually has to go to school, he really doesn't have time. He sells medicines and sends them directly to the Chamber of Commerce. During this week, Chen Fan was making crazy money at a rate of more than 2 million per day. In 1 week, he made more than 15 million. The money owed to Liang Yu was also returned to her. Liang Yu still had a displeased expression on her face. Wu. Chen Fan, Liang Da Xiaohua, if you do this again, I will take it seriously. On the weekend of this week, Chen Fan, who has a huge sum of more than 10 million, started Krypton Gold again. System, Krypton Gold. Upgrade the Benyan sword technique. The voice of the system sounded in my mind. Martial arts. Benyan swordsmanship proficient. It takes 500,000 Krypton Gold to upgrade to the next level. Is Krypton Gold 500,000 yuan to improve the Benyan swordsmanship to proficiency? Chen Fan has a huge sum of money in his pocket, and he speaks with extra confidence. It must be. Krypton Gold is successful, 500,000 yuan will be deducted, and the level of Benyan swordsmanship will be raised to proficient. Martial arts. Benyan swordsmanship proficient to upgrade to the next level requires 5 million Krypton Gold. The next moment, the familiar situation reappeared. A wave of memories flooded into my mind, and the memory contained a lot of insights and experiences of practicing Benyan swordsmanship. The comprehension this time is obviously more profound and mysterious than last time. Immediately afterwards, the heat flow from the void poured into the body again. The body is strengthened again, and the true energy continues to expand. When the strength in the body is raised to the limit. Click, there seemed to be a voice in his mind. The invisible shackles in the body were broken by a powerful force. There have been earth-shaking changes in the body. A steady stream of power emerges from the deepest part of the body, surging like a raging sea, rushing back and forth in the body with an unstoppable force. The flesh, muscles, and bones were refined repeatedly, and the meridians were stretched, cracked, and quickly healed in the repeated washing. The dantian was reshaped, widened, and stronger in the violent trembling. Such a familiar feeling. Chen Fan took a look at the system panel, and sure enough, he broke through to the middle stage of warriors. The last time he took Zengqi powder to refine the medicinal power, he felt that he was only one step away from a breakthrough. This time, Krypton Gold really broke through immediately. Feeling the powerful force in his body, and looking at the almost undiminished balance in his phone, Chen Fan was full of confidence. System, continue to Krypton Gold. Upgrade the Benyan sword demonstration and lay-in body forging technique. Krypton Gold is successful, 5 million yuan will be deducted, and the level of Benyan swordsmanship will be upgraded to Shaocheng. Krypton Gold is successful, 6 million yuan will be deducted, and the level of lay-in body forging art will be raised to Shaocheng. 2 memories flooded into my mind one after another. After accepting these 2 memories, Chen Fan's Benyan sword technique and lay-in body forging art have already achieved a small success. The so-called small success means that after reaching proficiency in martial arts, one goes a step further and masters some unique skills and experience, which pushes the power and perfection of this martial art one step forward. In other words, only those who have made some achievements in this martial art can be called minor successes. The Krypton Gold was more than 10 million, and both of the 2 first-rank martial arts were raised to the level of Shaocheng. Chen Fan's efforts have also been sufficiently rewarded. The moment the system's voice landed, drastic changes occurred in the body again. Power as vast as a great river emerges from the depths of the body, once again strengthening the body powerfully and domineeringly. The meridians became thicker and tougher, and the dantian widened again. The muscles and bones are continuously refined, and they are as tough as steel. The qi and blood are repeatedly stimulated, and the vitality is as vigorous as a dragon. Chen Fan's physical appearance has not changed too much, but the inside has been turned upside down. The strength of his body has far surpassed the limits of ordinary people. When the strength in the body gradually stabilized, the changes in the body gradually returned to calm. Chen Fan felt that his body was filled with seemingly inexhaustible power, and the true energy in his dantian was so full that it was about to overflow. He opens his properties panel. Host: Chen Fan. Realm: Late Warrior, Junior Alchemist. Battle Power: 70,000. Martial Arts: Kaishin Boxing Proficient. To upgrade to the next level requires 200,000 Krypton gold. To advance to the next level of Benyan Swordsmanship Minor Success 50 million Krypton gold is required. Leiyan Forging Body Ju Xiaocheng needs 60 million Krypton gold to upgrade to the next level. Alchemy: Elementary Alchemy Dacheng has been upgraded to the highest level. Dan Fang. Zhongqi San. Sure enough, he broke through to the late martial artist stage in one fell swoop. As long as you go one step further, you will be a martial artist. The realm of warriors in the later stage is almost invincible in Dixing Middle School. This final exam is stable. Going to school on Monday, as soon as Chen Fan entered the classroom, he heard the students in the class talking about it. Hey, have you heard that the price of boosting qi powder has dropped a lot recently? Really? That's great. I have to go stock up. Why did the price drop suddenly? Isn't the price of zengqi powder always firm? I heard that there is a mysterious alchemist who has been frantically refining qi boosting powder recently. I've also heard that the alchemist's refining speed is very fast, and the success rate is super high. With his own output, he forced the price of zengqi powder down. Some students who just heard the news immediately took out their mobile phones to place an order. When the price of zengqi-san is rarely reduced, I will stock up and save it. I want to stock up too, save some for me. Most of the students are in the realm of warriors. Zengqi powder is the elixir they often use, so they pay special attention to its price changes. Hearing the students' discussion, Chen Fan walked to his seat silently and sat down, pretending that he was an unaware passing crowd. He stroked his chin, thinking to himself, "It's time to pause Zengqi-san. I refined it myself too hard, and the price has dropped a lot. It doesn't feel like it's worth it. Moreover, the price of zengqi powder is set too hard, and it is easy to be targeted by interested people, which is not safe enough." Liang Yu listened to the discussion of her classmates, and turned to look at Chen Fan thoughtfully. That mysterious alchemist, couldn't it be Chen Qishi? Blah blah. Accompanied by the crisp sound of high heels landing, homeroom teacher Su Xingyu walked into the classroom gracefully with long black silk legs. She glanced around and announced with a smile, "Students, I have good news for you. The final exam has been brought forward and will start tomorrow." Suddenly, there was a wailing in the classroom. "Is there a mistake? Why do you want to make a surprise attack in advance?" "Ah, I'm not ready yet, what should I do? Why is this? Isn't it a few days left? Don't keep promises." Su Xingyu smiled gloatingly. "The principal said that it is to carry out a surprise attack. This is the best way to assess your true level." Ignoring this group of students who seemed to be struck by five thunders, Su Xingyu announced the complete news, and then Shi Shiren left. Regarding the sudden advance of the final exam, Chen Fan was not panicked at all. "Needless to say, the culture class has never caused me trouble. The biggest shortcoming of the martial arts class, I have now completely made up for it. Crazy Krypton gold yesterday, raising the realm of martial arts to the late martial artist stage, only one step away from the martial artist. Didn't Xiao Chen say that he would be a blockbuster in the final exam and slap me in the face? Now, the blockbuster is going to be replaced by me. Read Cao Cao, Cao Cao arrives." Chen Fan was thinking about Xiao Chen's expression when he was slapped in the face, when he heard Xiao Chen's haughty and disdainful voice. "Chen Fan, Chen Zushan, tomorrow's final exam, I'm looking forward to your results. As far as your three-legged cat's martial arts cultivation base is concerned, I'm curious, can you save your final grade with just cultural lessons?" The classroom suddenly fell silent, and everyone looked over in unison, with different expressions. Chen Fan smiled slowly. Interesting. I've never seen someone so eager to be slapped in the face. With an inexplicable smile on his face, he looked up at Xiao Chen, who was standing by his desk. Last time you said that you were about to break through to the middle stage of warriors, have you broken through? Xiao Chen lifted his spirits, raised his chin proudly, glanced at his other classmates curiously, pretending to be reserved. Xiao is not talented, and he was lucky enough to break through the day before yesterday. Wow, there was an uproar in the classroom. Xiao Chen has broken through to the middle stage of a martial artist. Awesome. Don't tell me, Xiao Chen's talent in martial arts is indeed a bit strong. I have been stuck in the late stage of martial arts for a year without breaking through. He has broken through twice in a row. He is so angry. It's really powerful, no wonder he dared to challenge Brother Fan. Brother Fan is a bit uneasy this time. His martial arts class is a shortcoming. It is not impossible for Xiao Chen to suppress the final exam. I think it's very possible. With Xiao Chen's midterm cultivation as a warrior, his martial arts grades must be top-notch. Listening to everyone's discussion, Xiao Chen was very high-spirited and very proud. He looked down at Chen Fan condescendingly, with a playful tone. Why, it's useless to know that a full score in alchemy class is useless. He glanced at the others, hinting in his tone. I've said long ago that martial arts is the foundation. It doesn't matter how good your culture class is. When it's critical, you still have to look at your martial arts strength. The faces of the people were complicated and thoughtful. No one spoke, and the classroom was silent. You were right, martial arts strength is indeed very important. Chen Fan said with a half smile. It seems that you are very confident to win the first place in the final examination. Xiao Chen smiled proudly. So, he didn't talk too much. After all, he was not the only student in Dixing Middle School who had reached the middle stage of warriors. Hearing his words, there was a commotion in the classroom, and everyone whispered and discussed. Chen Fan nodded, the smile on his face disappeared suddenly. He stared at Xiao Chen, and said very seriously, "Trust me, you won't be able to get the first place in the final examination." Xiao Chen's face changed slightly. He stared at Chen Fan for a while, with some doubts and vigilance in his eyes. In the end, he didn't see anything unusual, so he smiled disdainfully. You want to scare me? Just relying on your poor martial arts cultivation. Even if it's not me who gets the first place, it definitely won't be you. The next day, the final assessment began as scheduled. The morning is a comprehensive exam for cultural courses. For Chen Fan, it is naturally relaxing. In the afternoon, it was the martial arts assessment. The Martial Dao Square occupied by Dixing Middle School is already crowded with people. Thousands of kilometers away, students gathered in the square, whispering to each other, and the square was extremely noisy. On the side of the square, there was a spacious stand. The principal of Dixing Middle School and a group of tutors sat on the stage, condescending, and had a panoramic view of the situation in the square. In the middle of the square, stood a 2-meter-high mechanical device with a simple shape. This was an instrument specially used to test combat effectiveness. In the middle of this instrument is inlaid a blue-black stone, light gold or jade, with a faint glow lingering on it. This kind of stone appeared when the 10,000 races invaded and the way of heaven manifested. It is called the Stone of Measuring Heaven. Quantianshi can withstand a huge attack and absorb all the attack power, which is quite miraculous. Inlaid with the measuring stone, the instrument used to test the combat power is also called the measuring instrument. There is a display screen on the top of this measuring instrument in the square. The students who participated in the assessment used the strongest moves to attack Quantianshi, and Quantiani would give a score based on the power of the moves. This score is combat effectiveness. In the attribute panel given to Chen Fan by the system, the attribute of combat power is also based on the scoring standard of this measuring instrument. If the combat power displayed by the measuring instrument reaches 6,000, it is considered a pass in the martial arts assessment. Chen Fan has broken through to the late stage of martial arts, and the 2 first-grade martial arts, Bengyan sword art and Leiyan forging body art, have both been cultivated to the level of Shaocheng, which makes his current combat power as high as 70,000 points. The level of 70,000 combat power is completely unsurpassed in the realm of warriors. Even most martial artists in the early stages are hard to match. This is why Chen Fan dared to say that Xiao Chen could not get the first place in the final assessment. Chen Fan stood in the crowd with a calm expression, not nervous at all. Other students don't have this confidence and calmness. Blessing of the Valkyrie. Make sure I pass. I'm only in the middle stage of a martial artist, and I'm likely to fail this time. Alas, let fate be yours. It's not a big problem if I pass, but I guess I won't be able to make it into the top 100. I'm much better than me. I can't accept it. Although other students do not have the property panel provided by the system like Chen Fan. But he has a rough estimate of his combat power, and he basically knows what the results of the martial arts assessment will be like. Liang Yu stood beside Chen Fan, seeing the calm expression on his face, her eyes flashed. Chen Fan, you don't seem nervous at all. Chen Fan raised his eyebrows with a calm expression. I'm a god of learning anyway, and I still have the mental quality of not panicking before the exam. Liang Yu tentatively asked, just because of good mental quality? Chen Fan glanced at her, calmly. Otherwise, what do you think it is? Could it be because my martial arts cultivation has already swept the whole school, so I'm so calm? He turned his head to look at Liang Yu, and asked thoughtfully. Don't you think that I have been breaking through continuously during this period of time but hiding my strength, and I am going to make a blockbuster in the martial arts assessment and surprise everyone? Liang Yu smiled a little embarrassedly, and felt that she was thinking too much. Hey, Liang Yu, what are you thinking? No matter how talented Chen Fan is, he is only a genius in alchemy. Just because you like him, you can't think he's great in everything. Liang Yu shook her head slightly, as if she was laughing at her own ideas. Please let me go, thank you, thank you. The best friend Zhang Lin crossed the dense crowd and squeezed through with difficulty. Brother Fan, why are you standing here alone? I've been looking for you for a long time. He turned his gaze and saw Liang Yu beside Chen Fan, and suddenly showed a dazed expression, winking at Chen Fan. So it's a tryst here. Go ahead, I won't bother you. Liang Yichao blushed slightly, pursed her lips, and remained silent. Chen Fan glared at him. What nonsense, you wouldn't choose this kind of time for a tryst. Why did you come to see me? Zhang Lin chuckled, with a confident expression on his face. I've got good news for you. Yesterday, Sister Su said that the final exam was ahead of schedule. I was in a hurry and made a breakthrough at night. I'm in the late stage of martial arts now, so I'm not very powerful. Chen Fan is also very happy. That's good, congratulations, your grades in the final exam are stable. Liang Yu also congratulated. Student Zhang, congratulations, your martial arts test results are guaranteed. Zhang Lin nodded with satisfaction. Both Brother Fan and Senior Colonel Liang said that, so I'm completely relieved. Hey, I can be more at ease, Brother Fan, you don't even know how anxious I was yesterday. Chen Fan joked. Breakthrough as soon as you are in a hurry. It seems that you have to be in a hurry so that you can improve quickly. Zhang Lin looked terrified. A few more times, I can't hold it anymore. He suddenly remembered the purpose of coming to find Chen Fan, and asked quickly. Brother Fan, how are you doing here, are you sure you will pass? Zhang Lin remembered that Chen Fan was in the early stage of martial arts, and he hadn't heard of any breakthrough in his realm in the past 2 days. Even if he passed the test, it would be difficult. He was very worried for him, so he squeezed over to ask. Hearing Zhang Lin's question, Chen Fan was silent for a while. Pass. Of course he knew that Zhang Lin had purely good intentions, and he didn't mean to laugh at himself at all. If you tell Ermu that he has broken through to the late stage of the martial artist, and the first place in the final assessment is already in his pocket, will he be too cruel to him? The assessment hasn't started yet, why don't you dampen his confidence? Besides, I just fooled Liang Yu, a silly girl, so I can't expose myself now. Domined her for a while, he. Thinking of this, Chen Fan said vaguely. It's definitely okay to pass. There is nothing wrong with this statement, it is completely true, and the first place in the exam is also within the category of passing. When Zhang Lin heard what Chen Fan said, he immediately felt relieved. That's good, as long as you pass the martial arts assessment, plus your full marks in cultural subjects, the final total score will definitely not be lower. The two were talking when a loud bell rang. In martial arts square, the noisy crowd suddenly fell silent. The instructor who presided over the martial arts assessment held a thick roster and announced loudly, "The end of semester martial arts assessment has officially begun. Students whose names have been called, please come to the stage one by one to conduct a battle test." The instructor flips through the roster. Wang Bao, please come to the stage for a test. A tall boy came out in response. He stood in front of the measuring instrument, opened his posture, and slowly took a deep breath. As he adjusted his breathing with luck, his body began to surge with vigor, and the aura of his whole body rose rapidly. After a few breaths, the momentum climbed to the peak. Ah! Accompanied by an angry shout, Wang Bao punched out. Call. This punch is powerful and heavy, and it seems to have the power to open mountains. He is also practicing Kaishengquan. Boom! Wang Bao's fist slammed firmly on the Liangtian stone, making a loud bang. His combat power value was displayed on the measuring instrument, 7,800. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.